That first of Bayern's 3 successive European Cups, Champions Leagues that they are now. And when in the second half of the programme, we'll discuss how even though he'd been part of that spectacularly fantastic Bayern team, they let him go. And we'll talk about how mad it was for a person with his leanings to go to Spain, whereas we've talked about already, there was a repressive right-wing government. But this is only an illustration of the kind of man that Paul Breitner was. There was no task that he felt couldn't be fulfilled, no challenge too big, and no decision in life or in football too strange for him to make. And the back of all this as well, don't forget, we're going to tell you, of course, he is, in one way at least, one of the most successful footballers of all time. He's one of only 4 players to have scored in 2 different World Cup finals, and certainly the only defender to have done it. More about Paul Breitner very, very soon here with Andy Brassell and me on Danny Kelly's Trans-Europe Express.
Sports. It's going all the way. This is TalkSport 2. TalkSport 2 with official betting partner William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Hello?
Mel, something huge has landed.
The UFO. It's all over the news.
Better. The mini sale event. Hurry up and get down here.
I think that's why the aliens are here too.
I do now. Gotta go.
The sale event has landed. Out of this world offers across the entire range from 3rd to 7th of September at your local mini retailer. Applicable on new mini orders placed during the sale event and registered by 31st December 2026. Visit mini.co.uk/sale event.
Enjoy the freedom of unlimited data with Vodafone. Save £288 with an unlimited data SIM-only plan. Hurry, offer ends the 16th of September. Vodafone.
Was £35 on 24-month unlimited plan, 100 megabytes max speed, 5G subject to coverage. Credit check and terms apply. Vodafone.co.uk/mobile.
Surrounded by alien foes. The fate of the galaxy depends on us.
Fancy a Mackies? There are daily offers waiting in the McDonald's app.
But the universe...
The main mission can wait. Unlock daily offers in the McDonald's app now. 18 plus app only. Different offers available each weekday and on weekends until the 27th of September. Check out for details. Subject to availability. Please apply to delivery. 1 use per day.
Magnum welcomes you to the premiere of its new collection.
Introducing their latest signature design. New Magnum La Pistache. Covered in a newly crafted pistachio shell. And New Magnum La Pêche with a vibrant peach shell. Both pieces crafted to reveal a velvety gelato core and beautifully finished with Magnum's thick cracking chocolate. Designed for pleasure.
Team Sport Karting, it's more than a race. It's the I did it moment.
My fastest lap.
Group chat bragging rights.
I found my new passion.
Find your I did it moments at Team Sport Karting, the UK's #1 go-karting experience. Book now at one of 38 tracks. Get verification at team-sport.co.uk.
Great Scott, it's 2026, and you're still tuning in on your radio. Don't you know a vastly superior transmission device has been invented? If you're going to listen to Talk Sport, why not do it with some style by stepping into the future and downloading the Talk Sport app with fully modernized sound quality and access to a digital library of so-called podcasts that'll blow your mind. So come on, future boy, witness the progress of mankind. Where we're going, we don't need aerials. Download the app today and listen online.
Carabao Cup, live on TalkSport 2.
The similarities are obvious. Two clubs whose golden eras ran in succession from the late 60s through to the early 80s, when league titles and domestic honours were the norm, and they each graced European finals. Their demise was far-reaching with years in the third tier. Now, here they are both consolidated back in the elite. But the wait for silverware is long and protracted. It's 37 and 35 seasons respectively since either last took a major honour. So, can Forest or Leeds follow in Newcastle's footsteps and end the long drought with success in the Carabao Cup?
Headed away by Leeds United, and they take all 3 points back up the M1 to West Yorkshire, and Oliver Glasner starts his tenure as Nottingham Forest manager with a home defeat.
Unfortunately, I'm no magician. I have no drink. We give the players that we win anything, but yeah, we will play to win tomorrow's game.
Glasner is a
first-class manager and has achieved first-class things.
Yates with a left-footed shot from the end. That's a net buster.
The team spirit, the always putting the side first. You can just tell straight away that he's an elite level coach.
Aim towards Calvert-Lewin, comes down to Okafor, and he dabs it home, and Leeds United do lead.
The club itself is on a high just now. There's a good confidence running through the club and the side.
We want to kick on, and I say, well, we do want to do better than last year, but we know it's going to be very difficult too.
I'm a big believer in Daniel Farke and Leeds United.
The way you play the cup is slightly different in comparison to a Premier League game, because it's a do or die game. There's always a winner in the end.
Well, it's just 3 days since Anton Stach got Leeds off to a winning start here in the Premier League. Tonight they meet again with a place in the third round of the League Cup at stake. A very good evening to you from Jim Proudfoot at the City Ground. 19 years ago today, Forest hosted Leeds in a League One fixture here. Leeds won the game, Forest won promotion, and one of the men who featured in that match is alongside me tonight, Luke Chambers. Good to see you. You also played in both meetings of these two clubs in the 11-12 season. Leeds won 4-0 here. Forest, who you were playing for, won 7-3 at Ellen Road. I'm not necessarily expecting a repeat of that tonight.
Well, it would be nice, wouldn't it? Especially not a 4-0 defeat, though, for Forest's perspective. But no, listen, massive histories for both clubs. Real different game compared to the weekend when they met in the Premier League. So we're looking, obviously there's changes. It would just be a chance for these players to take that opportunity that's been given to them.
Well, here's how the teams line up. Oliver Glasner seldom made many changes with cup ties as Palace boss, but tonight there are 5, with a debut for Ousmane Diomande at the back and a first start for Savas Schlager after their respective summer arrivals. Nico Dominguez and Arnaud Calimuendo also recalled. The Frenchman's making his first Forest start since December. All the talk here is around Liam Delap's imminent arrival in a £45 million deal from Chelsea, which should be completed tomorrow. It's Chris Wood who leads the line tonight, though. Morgan Gibbs-White amongst those to make way. In fact, he is given the night off. Leeds' 6 changes include a debut for Nico Elvedi at centre-half. New boys James Trafford and Tarek Muharramovic keep their places. But Anton Stach, who scored the winner on Saturday, is amongst those left out. So this is the Forest team. Sells in goal again. Diomande, Milenkovic and João Cunha the back 3. Aina, Dominguez, Schlager and Williams. Calimuendo and Igor Jesus in support of Chris Wood up front.
Well, it's a very attacking team, if you ask me. Dominguez has played predominantly as a wide attacking player, and he's now playing central midfield alongside the new signing Schlager. And Calimuendo's interesting one coming back into the fold at Forest. He's played 19 games on loan at Frankfurt, scored 6 goals, so he's certainly got minutes under his belt. He was wanting to prove people wrong, but the main man for me, yes, without Morgan Gibbs-White, but we've still got Chris Wood at Nottingham Forest, and that is every single time he steps on the pitch for Forest, he certainly gets his share of chances, so he'll be hoping they do come away against his former club.
This is the Leeds team. Wood's former club, as Luke says. Trafford in goal, Elvedi, Roden and Muharramovic in goal. In the back 3, James and Justin at wing-back, Longstaff, Amadou and Tanaka in midfield, and then Okafor in support of Lucas Mecha up front.
Yeah, real interesting one again from Daniel Farke. I think he was always likely to make changes. I feel he felt job was done at the City Ground at the weekend to get that 1-0 victory, so he's made the changes for this one. But Okafor and Nemecha up top will certainly ask questions this Forest back 4.
The benches tonight for Forest is John Victor, Murillo, Sangare, Hudson-Odoi and Ndoye, Hutchinson, McAtee, Nets and Abbott. And the Leeds bench, Lucas Perry is the substitute keeper, Bogle, Calvert-Lewin, Wilson and Aronson, Biol, Stack, and then youngsters Alfie Cresswell and Jaden Lienu. Now, what changes for the players? And there has been change, obviously, in terms of personnel, 11 between the two teams, but what changes for the players when they meet the same opposition twice in 3 days?
Well, obviously, the obvious ones are Forest will want to get one back over on Leeds, having lost at the weekend, but for me, it'll be the individuals that are coming into this side. Ousmane Diomande, big signing for Forest. Everyone's excited about his presence, and it gives Oliver Glasner the chance to get him out, get him involved with the team this early on in the season, and it'll be an opportunity for him to stake his claim to try and break up that partnership with Milenkovic and Murillo, who've been really successful for Forest over the last couple of years.
So it is Forest Leeds for the second time in 3 days. Kickoff 10 minutes away here on Trentside, and we kick off fast approaching. Let's get the latest odds with William Hill.
In the Zone
on TalkSport 2. Brought to you by Final One Standings from William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
And it's a very good evening to Lee Phelps. Lee, nice to speak to you. How are Hill's pricing this one up tonight? Oh, we can't hear from Lee at the moment, but we will come back to Lee before kickoff ahead of this Nottingham Forest Leeds United game. Let's instead hear from both camps. We'll start with Forest and manager Oliver Glasner, who's got plenty of experience of winning trophies in English football. He was asked if he can bring that successful formula to the City ground.
This is what they always try, to create an environment, a way of playing, a way of attitude that makes it possible, but it would be so easy. So maybe, because I think in the FA Cup, every team in England takes part, right? EFL is just the first 4. Yeah. So let's say then to go to the FA Cup, maybe the team with the lowest ranking in England hires me, and then we win the FA Cup. So this would be a little bit too easy. So again, unfortunately, I'm no magician. I have no drink. We give the players that we win anything, but we will play to win tomorrow's game, definitely, and then let's see.
So that's Oliver Glasner's won silverware in each of the last 2 years with Crystal Palace. Will he be able to continue that run with Nottingham Forest? The League Cup, certainly the competition that will give him the best chance, and let's find out whether William Hills expect that he will be able to have that success. Lee Phelps does join us now. Lee, very good evening to you. Are Forest favourites to be able to exact revenge for the weekend this evening?
Yeah, just about, yeah. Sorry for the glitches, don't know what happened there. 7-5 Forest, 2-1 the draw, 9-5 at Leeds United. 15 other matches in play as we speak, with goals in the Cardiff-Norwich game, goals in the Fleetwood-Shrewsbury game, Coventry leading 2-0 at Plymouth, Wolves winning at Sheffield Wednesday as well, so plenty of in-play action to go. This one's really intriguing after how many times do we get a league game, then a cup game comes straight off the back of it. Forest, justifiable favourites at home. I know Leeds won only on Saturday, but it was a very level game, wasn't it? And Forest will want to exact some sort of revenge. We've got an epic boost on the game, which is Forest to lead at any time in the match. They don't have to win, they just need to lead at any time in the match for the epic boost to land. In the 90 minutes, that is. Even money, boosted from 4 to 7. This was an epic boost that we did a lot during the World Cup, was really popular. Maximum bet of 10 quid as usual on that. As far as the match goes, like I say, Forest marginal favourites. We've got a few price boosts as well. Igor Jesus to score at any time. These are all in the 90 minutes. Impact sub applies to that as well. So if he goes off and his sub comes on and scores, you get paid out still. That's 9-4. Leeds to win to 0 again. 4-1, that's been boosted too. Lucas Demech to score the first goal. Impact sub applies again as 5-1. There's a few bet builders, and the one that I like best, just because it's got a good name, is Deja Vu. It's Leeds to win, Ola Aina to be carded, Igor Jesus to have at least one shot on target, and Nikola Milenkovic to have at least one foul. Obviously, it all happened on Saturday. That's 35-1 for that to happen. I think this will be a bit more open than it was on Saturday. I think both teams score. It's just a touch of odds on, 3-4 there. So if you're looking at a result, I'd maybe go pick a winner and put the both teams to score in there as well. I'm not sure which way it goes. That's my only problem. I'll probably be playing overs on the goals as well. Over 3.5 goals is 23-10. I can see a more open game, and I hope it is for you guys tonight.
Lee, thank you. That an odds update brought to you by William Hill. Get up to 200% boost on qualified football access. 3% for 2 legs, up to 200% for 20 plus on selected markets. Minimum 1 to 5 per leg in shop and on the app. Account required, 18 plus. T&Cs apply. Visit gamcare.org.uk.
In the Zone on TalkSport 2. Brought to you by Final One Standings from William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, it was interesting. Lee said there, Luke James, that he expects that it's going to be a slightly more open game tonight. Is that how you see it with the more attack-minded lineup that's been selected by Forest?
Yeah, definitely so. And I think, again, it's a straight shootout, isn't it? Who wants to go through to the next round of the Carabao Cup? And it's there for both teams. Yes, there's the lingering previous fixture from a couple of days ago that Leeds come away and won that, but it would certainly be a different game with the players that we've now got on show. I feel Forest have certainly gone out with that real attacking lineup certainly a strong back three, but everyone else on that pitch certainly can add something going forward for this Forest team.
Well, let's hear now from Leeds boss Daniel Farke, whose side may have been victorious when the side squared off on Saturday, but he's expecting a completely different game here this evening.
It's good for the mood and for the confidence, but I think it's also fair to say that you can't really compare these two games, of course. So it's more or less we have a special way to play, and Nottingham as well. So same players, and same managers. But I think also there will be some changes also in the starting lineup, probably for both teams, and it's a different competition. Also the way you play the cup is slightly different in comparison to a Premier League game, because it's a do or die game. There's always a winner in the end, and even if it's with a penalty shootout, so for that. Yes, I think both teams will be also motivated to be successful. It's always good for the momentum and for the confidence. So for that, I expect again a tight game, and will be difficult also to win on the road against this tough opponent.
That's Daniel Farke, whose side about to come out from the tunnel. Down beneath us, away to our left-hand side, over the strains of Welcome to the Jungle. And the whole game is live here on TalkSport 2. And let me give you a reminder, though, that for full details of all of the goals as they go in, Adrian Durham's taking around the grounds as we speak over on TalkSport. If you've got the TalkSport app, dead easy to flick between that coverage and the live action from here at the City Ground. Already some notable goals going in. And the early kickoff, it's half-time in South Wales. Norwich leading in Cardiff by a goal to nil. Fisgarden, the man on target there. Jake Cooper has given Millwall the lead at Cambridge. Now that's a 7:45 kickoff. Similarly, just inside the opening 15 minutes, Fleetwood leading Shrewsbury by a goal to nil. Coventry already 2 up at Plymouth. Great start for Tawa Awonyi on his full debut for the Sky Blues. Jack Radoni's also scored. They were 2 up there at Home Park inside 5 minutes. Wolves ahead at Hillsborough, away to Sheffield United with a Spinkle's own goal. Southampton lead a much changed West Ham side by a goal to nil. Leo Cienza, the Brazilian, on target there. Reading are a goal up at Stevenage, and Peterborough lead at Watford by a goal to nil. So plenty of early goals up and down the country. And as I say, Adrian taking you around the grounds right now over on TalkSport. And here on TalkSport 2, the former Forest defender Luke Chambers alongside me. We're concentrating on the 1-all Premier League tie in this round. The teams are out. Forest red shirts, white shorts. Leeds in their change kit again of yellow shirts and black shorts. And they're lining up like this. Nottingham Forest, Sells in goal. Diamande, Milenkovic and Jaya Cunha the back three. Aina and Williams supplying the width from wing back. Dominguez and Schlager in midfield. Calimawendo, Igor Jesus and Chris Wood the front three. And for Leeds United, Trafford in goal. Elvedi, Roden and Hremovic the back three. Then it's James, Longstaff, Ampadu, Tanaka and Justin, with Okafor and Lucas Mecha up front. Referee tonight is Andy Kitchen. And it will be one of these Premier League sides who will be sinking. They've got a poor record between them in League Cup history. Forest have lost each of their last 5 League Cup matches. Leeds have lost their last 3 League Cup ties, including penalty shootout defeats to both Sheffield Wednesday and Salford. One of those poor runs is going to end tonight. First game under the lights here at the City Ground for Oliver Glasner. And he won't quite be used to this just as yet. Mull of Kintyre, which even for neutrals puts the hairs up on the back of your neck.
Oh, it's nothing quite like it when you lead the team out of the City Ground and this springs round. And Leeds will know they've witnessed it a few days ago, like we spoke about before, so they'll certainly be ready for the challenge, but it's certainly something to witness if you haven't.
Well, Oliver Glasner became a Palace icon when he delivered the first major honour in the club's history, and then followed it up with European glory. But can he now deliver here on Trentside to end Forest's 37-year wait for major silverware? Or will they succumb to Leeds for the second time in a week? Forest going from left to right and on the front foot straight away, with Igor Jesus trying to make his way forward. Leeds won it back, nudge it away from the blonde head Schlager in the heart of the Nottingham Forest midfield. The new signing on Aina playing it forward. Leeds get it away. Now Hamorovich a little frustrated that his header went past James Justin and out for a throw that will be taken by Ola Reiner on the Nottingham Forest right, on the front foot in the very early stages here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, Calamawendo driving forwards right through the heart of Leeds, just overhit the pass to Egor Jesus, and he couldn't control it.
Reiner's long throw coming in towards the near post. And put behind for a corner. Nottingham Forest meaning business in these early stages, already still less than a minute in. But they got the ball on the quadrant for the very first time, and Schlager's going to come across to take this. It's congested penalty area. Everybody for Leeds United is back. Forest have got 6 inside the box. 3 in the 6, 3 deeper than that. Good goalkeeping. That gets it away. James Trafford getting a first touch of the ball by punching it clear, and then the volley from the edge of the penalty area, well off target from Nico Williams, and out of play for a goal kick that Leeds will take. 90 seconds in here on TalkSport 2. It's Forest 0, Leeds 0, and here's Luke Chambers.
Yeah, real bright start for Forest, putting Leeds under pressure early on with that set piece, but drops out to Nico Williams about 30 yards from goal, and he's tried to curl one into the top corner where he could have just recycled the ball wide to Calamawendo, and Forest could have maintained that early pressure.
So Leeds have it now with James Justin, whose ball back behind him is just kept in by Haramovic, and a difficult one for him. He had to make sure that he got the weight on a bobbling ball. Back to James Trafford before Chris Wood could cut it out. He did that. Trafford's clearance straight out of play. And it's going to be a throw that will be taken on the Forest right quickly by Einer into Schlager. And now the other new signing, Diamande, who arrived in a £33 million deal from Sporting Lisbon, can get it back to his goalkeeper. Sells keeping his place tonight after what many thought was an error late in the game that allowed that stacked free kick to creep past him at the near post. But that Sells keeping his place. And he's got the ball forward again with Nottingham Forest hoping to get something tangible and concrete from this really impressive start that they made in the opening 3 minutes.
Yeah, Leeds are starting a little bit sloppily, especially down this near left-hand side, just in front of Leeds dugout. That just struck a couple of clearances straight out of play. James Justin a couple of times. Muhammorovic as well, looking a little bit sloppy in these early stages.
Middlesbrough leading at Doncaster by a goal to nil. Kyle Joseph, the man on target there. Leeds getting it forward now to Lucas Mecha for the first time. Dan James playing a right wing back today, got himself into a good position, and he's played across in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but it was too far ahead of Longstaff and Okafor, and safely into the hands of Sells for Forest.
Yeah, early warning sign there down the far left-hand side. Nico Williams obviously loves to play high and wide for Forest, but Dan James, that matchup tonight is going to be really interesting for me. So if they can play the ball in behind, it's whether Cunha's covering that left channel and helping Nico Williams out. On that occasion, he wasn't.
It's not the first time that Dan James has played at right wing back by any stretch of the imagination, but it isn't his natural position. And defensive duties maybe not coming as naturally to him as they will to James Justin on this side.
No, I think when you play in that area as a winger trying to play in a more defensive role, if you can start your starting position higher up the pitch, it asks questions of your opposition number, and at the moment he's playing high and wide and is asking Nico Williams to come back and play as almost an orthodox left back against him.
Okafor coming in off the left flank here for Leeds United in their change kit of yellow and black. 2 Forest players down for a moment, and Ola Einer has won a free kick which is taken just inside his own half. Back for Diamande. Now Milenkovic. Milenkovic, who started all but 2 Premier League games since he signed for Nottingham Forest. And he's played it forward well out of the left-hand side. Calamawendo, who is brisk and certainly will feel that he's got a point to prove after being farmed out on loan halfway through his debut season here at the City Ground. We're back involved tonight. This is his first start for the club since December, and he's heavily involved in the early stages. Forest bringing it forward. Let's go back for Dominguez, wearing 8 this season for Forest, one of the players to have changed his number. Schlager. Back out of the left-hand side. Dominguez involved again. Coming in off that left flank, it's just laid back outside the penalty area, deep in towards Einer at the far post, who's won his header. Should be easy for Trafford, who let it bounce, and then there was a coming together at the far post between him and I think it was Calamawendo. The referee, though, has said that it's a Leeds United ball, with 5 minutes gone at 0-0.
Yeah, another good bit of play from Calamawendo, just this time holding that width on that far left-hand side, just outside the corner of the penalty area. He cuts on his right foot, delivers a high raking cross to the back post, and it's Ola Aina, the right wing-back, who just comes in, manages to get up and above James Justin on the corner of the 6-yard box, heads it back across, but unfortunately for them, no one there, and Trafford just comes across, takes the contact off the challenge, and it's a free kick to Leeds.
League One, Plymouth have one back at home to Premier League Coventry. Oliver Iro, who had a really impressive loan spell from Tottenham at Mansfield last season. He's at Plymouth this season, signed this week, and he scored on his debut. Plymouth 1, Coventry 2. And a reminder that over on TalkSport right now, Adrian Durham talking through all the goals as they happen. If you've got the TalkSport app, it's really easy just to swipe left, swipe right. You'll be used to doing that. And that keeps you abreast of everything that is going on. The Forest in possession, but give it away. Justin coming forward and attacking it. Gets it down for Okafor. Okafor's ball out to the Leeds United right. Picks out Dan James, one of several well-established Welsh internationals in this Leeds United squad. And his cross is easily blocked, goes out of play for a throw. But it'll be taken over on the Leeds right near the edge of the penalty area, and Ethan Ampadu will come across to take it. 7 gone, 0-0.
First bit of play that Leeds have had real possession inside Forest half. Used it well. Okafor, lovely coming off that left-hand side, switches it out to Dan James, and you mentioned the two Welsh teammates going at it again, so he's certainly looking to take on Nico Williams at every opportunity.
And no towels allowed these days, so Ampadu's dried the ball on his shirt before throwing it inside the penalty area here. Forest are able to clear. Leeds will pick it up again in a deeper position on halfway, with James going back for Trafford. He only conceded twice, playing every minute of Manchester City's successful League Cup run last year. His last League Cup tie, therefore, last season's final. And he's got the impression that after the difficult start that he had to his City career, he really benefited from those 2 cup runs that City had, where he was such an instrumental part of it, and that is going to be benefiting him long term in his career.
Absolutely. I think goalkeepers, like anyone really, you have to have consistency, you have to play games and be trusted to have that responsibility, and I felt James Trafford didn't really have that. Obviously in the cup runs he's shown everyone what he could do, hence why he's now a £40 million goalkeeper playing in goal for Leeds United. Yeah,
they've spent some money. They brought him in, they've brought Elvedi in, and Uremovic as well. £82 million they've spent so far, although they've got nearly half of that back with the departures of the likes of Strauch and Gelhardt and Jack Harrison as well. It's 0-0 here with 8 minutes gone, and an entertaining open start to this cup tie. What's quite a breezy City ground this evening. The flags we can't quite see from here in the top of the Brian Clough stand facing us, but billowing earlier, very much blowing from right to left towards the river. Leeds have got possession there, attacking that same way, going from right to left as we look at it, with Roden laying it back for Trafford in all blue tonight, controlling the ball on the edge of his penalty area. They're playing it out of the penalty area again. Now worked for by Roden to Elvedi. And out for a throw that will be taken on the Leeds United right by Longstaff. 9 minutes gone. And Oliver Glasner turning, arms folded across his chest, just making his way back and taking his place in the Nottingham Forest dugout, whilst Daniel Farker, it's a little bit colder in his dugout by the look of it. He's got his long, big, thick black coat on. What's the try sitting up here? You and I in T-shirts. One of us has got it wrong. I don't think it's us. But Farker is there, standing pretty much motionless on the edge of the technical area right now. This goalkeeper Trafford has cleared the ball straight out of play again. Now for a throw that will be taken on the Forest right. Don't forget, tomorrow morning you can join Alan Brazil and Ali McCoist from 6 o'clock over on TalkSport. Amongst their guests tomorrow, what a legend, the former Manchester United captain Brian Robson, amongst the many great names on the show in the morning. That's Big Alan Ali from 6 tomorrow morning at TalkSport Breakfast over on TalkSport. And here and now on TalkSport 2, Jim Bradford and Luke Chambers talking through the action as Nottingham Forest will try and break quickly. Ola making his way forward. He's gone for goal. It was a miss-hit cross maybe, but beaten away by Trafford. He kept him honest. There were 2 Forest players attacking the far post. I think Einer's sliced it towards the near. Trafford had to take a couple of hasty steps across. He's beaten it behind for a corner.
Brilliant bit of play from Forest from left to right into Ego Jesus. in the middle of the pitch, turns, plays it into Dominguez, who slides Aina straight down the right-hand side, and he's looking for Chris Wood to try and fizz it across toward the penalty spot, but he's almost shanked it into the top corner, and credit to Trafford, he gets across and makes a brilliant save out for a corner.
Which is Forest's second, is going to be taken on their right-hand side by Schlager. Left-footed, very deep towards the back corner of the 6-yard box, headed away. Callum Owendo will chase after it. They run out of play for a throw. Elsewhere, Peterborough 2 up at Watford, which would be a shot. Harry Leonard's got the second, and Reading leading at Stevenage by the same scoreline, 2-0. Paddy Lane doubling the Royals' lead. Aina going across to take this long throw. Decent ovation from those in the Clough stand on the far side. Leeds defending the end away to our right-hand side. The John Robertson stand, the old Bridgeford end of the ground that houses the travelling Leeds supporters. Looked like a foul throw from Aina into the feet of Igor Jesus. It's played back out to him. Aina's cross, can't find Milenkovic, and is comfortably claimed by Trafford, who will bowl it out quickly. And no Roquefort will make his way. Schlager comes across, stands in front of him, and forces the error out of Okafor. A suspicion maybe of a handball. Daniel Farker thought the throw should have gone Leeds' way. Been taken quickly by Forest. They've worked it forward, but couldn't get Callum Owendo in. And Leeds will bring it away on the right-hand side. When Forest do attack, though, Luke, they do so in numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. We said before, the changes certainly really look like they're attacking intent for Forest to start this game brightly, and they've certainly done that inside this first 12 minutes. And every time the ball is played through the middle from right to left, Diamande looking for Callum Owendo, who keeps holding his width in open play. But as they start to build the play through the middle of the pitch, he's making some real darting runs. He's looking so sharp. Someone that certainly has the bit between his teeth to impress the Forest fans and his manager.
Well, Aina will take this latest throw. More loop on that one, in towards the near post. Headed back, is headed away before it crept in. Igor Jesus with it. It was cleared pretty much off the line. The whistle now has gone, and it's a free kick to Leeds. Trafford was beaten, but that's why he puts a man on his post. And it was a relatively easy defensive clearance and a decent header from Jesus.
Yeah, it's Aina's long throw again, causing all sorts of problem. I think it's Milenkovic who flicks it on level with the near post, just flicks it to the back post, but it's looping on the flick, and Jesus tries to then generate some power to get it back across Trafford, but he just can't get enough on it, and I think it's James Justin who heads it away.
Absolutely. And now Leeds will be able to bring themselves forward with Mecha. Down to Okafor. Okafor's curving ball inside the penalty area is brought down, but it was a slightly heavy touch. Dominguez could capitalise on that and slam it clear. Leeds will come again in the next phase of play with Longstaff going out towards the right-hand side. Here is James. Low ball in and met at the near post by Mecha. Didn't really get hold of it with Forest players around him, and it's come back off a red pair of socks into safety for Forest. Leeds get it back, but inside their own half very quickly. And build now with Trafford playing it down to Haramovic. Bosnian going back for Ethan Ampadu, the league skipper to Longstaff, and now Tanaka. Back from him to Elvedi. And Tanaka lets the ball run across his body, still inside his own half as he lays it back here for Nico Elvedi. Making his League Cup debut. He started all 6 of Switzerland's games at the World Cup. He's got defending to do now as Forest bring it forward again. And Jesus and Wood both waiting. And Callum Owendo couldn't find either of them. Ball half cleared, but only half cleared as far as Nico Dominguez. Every Forest outfield player well inside Leeds territory as Diamande knocks it forward. Just rolled away from Igor Jesus, and Leeds picking it up with a high turnover. Might be able to break quickly. They've just breezed their way past Diamande. They've got a man out on the right, but the ball to Dan James is overhit. Can run round it and keep it in. Right-hand side of the penalty area, he's flashed in across. Mecha attacking it, and then it's cleared out for Tanaka, who's blazed it almost into the Trent. 0-0.
What a start to the game. It's end-to-end now, certainly opening up. Forest committing bodies forward, losing possession, and the pace that Leeds are breaking on them is fantastic. Okafor's power as he drives through the centre of the field. Dan James is on an overlap on the right-hand side, as is Langstaff. But he overhits the pass, causes Dan James to go right by the touchline. But he's then afforded so much space as he approaches the byline, smashes it across just a yard behind the Mecha, and he can't get the contact on it. But warning signs for both teams, but they've certainly come here to win the game, Leeds United, and has Forest.
Probably more drama already than we saw in the game here on Saturday as well.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's what we want to see. Obviously, there's not a spare seat really in the house tonight. I think everyone's come out to see a really entertaining game of football and a straight shootout to get to the next round.
It's 0-0, 15 minutes gone here on TalkSport 2. The next round, round 3, will be staggered over a couple of weeks. This happened last year, and you'll remember why. It's because of the European teams being involved in the Champions League and the Europa League starting in different weeks, and the third round of the Carabao Cup clashing with those, and so there are seedings for the draw and this, that and the other, but the draw is going to take place tomorrow, of which more in a moment. Leeds bringing it forward. Tanaka, edge of the area, to his right-hand side. It's clipped across the face of goal from Longstaff, and out of play for a throw. He was expecting that somebody was going to be able to get in on that. Nobody could. There's another promising position for Leeds that has come to nothing. Essentially, the draw to find out whether the seeds are at home takes place before the games tomorrow, and then we'll find out who's playing who after the Preston game tomorrow. That draw taking place live on Sky Sports. Preston-Everton, one of our feature games tomorrow here on TalkSport, where we've got a choice of listening for you, including Spurs-Charlton, which is our main game at 7:45 kickoff over on TalkSport, and Newcastle against West Brom at St James's Park right here on TalkSport 2. That also slightly early, 7:45 tomorrow. Here and now, Tanaka has the ball, the Japanese international midfielder. We saw plenty of action at the World Cup as well. To his left-hand side for Haramovic. Worked round the corner by Okafor with good quick feet, but Forest win it back. Schlager's had a good start of the game, and he's found Ola Aina. Back to his goalkeeper, Sells can clear. Right-footed towards halfway, where it sails over Chris Wood. Headed down by Elvedi, and then Justin works it back for his goalkeeper, Trappers. 0-0, and we've played 17 minutes here on TalkSport 2. Elvedi getting it forward into the feet of Tanaka. Now to Ampadu. Ampadu to his right-hand side for Roden. Roden's playing on the right of the three centre-halves. Ordinarily plays in the middle. He's playing on the right. Elvedi is the man in the middle of the three. He's got the ball now after his £8 million move from Borussia Mönchengladbach, for whom he played more than 350 games. Now goes out to the right-hand side. Longstaff trying to link up the play. Forrest again able to easily bring it away, and Callum Owendo with a touch, but he's given it away. And Leeds United cleverly flicking it down the line. Dan James with another ball into a dangerous area, and Diamande had to be alert, because had he not scooped that clear, he had Mecha coming in behind him.
And it's that man Dan James again causing all the problems for Forest. He just keeps getting free. I don't think they can figure out the back four, back five scenario. Nico Williams isn't really playing as a left back, and João Cunha doesn't want to go out into those wide areas, so he's got so much space and time. He just whips one along the 6-yard line, but Diamande is able to swivel and turn it out for a throw-in on this near side.
That's a throw to Leeds that Ethan Ampadu takes, and he's got good distance on it as well. Dangerous defensive header, potentially. It's gone off the top of the Forest head, but bounces inside the 6-yard box into the hands of Matt Sells, who uses almost his full 8 seconds before bowling the ball out to the left-hand side for Nico Williams. Back from him to João Cunha. Fleetwood 3, Shrewsbury 0 elsewhere in the Carabao Cup. And Barnsley are 2-1 up at home to Crewe, having been a goal down in the early stages, but 2 quick goals there. One game in the Virtue Trophy tonight as well. Chelsea's youngsters 2 down away to Bristol Rovers. Over on TalkSport right now, all the goals as they go in, the quickest score service anywhere on your dial. Half-time, Doncaster 0, Middlesbrough 1 in one of the earlier games, 7:30 kickoff in South Yorkshire tonight. Here in the East Midlands, the ball is with Haramovic. Now he goes towards Longstaff. Leeds just having a little bit of a breather in possession at the moment as they work it back for the Bosnian international again. He's taking a touch, rolls it almost towards the edge of the centre circle, and then goes square to his right-hand side for Elvedi. With the dark-haired Tanaka, clipped out towards the right-hand side. Longstaff trying to help it round the corner. It was decent defending at some personal cost by Nico Williams, who I think got one square in the face there. The referee has given a free kick Forest waiver and offside. And they've taken it quickly and worked it back for Milenkovic. But still, eminently watchable. We haven't seen too many clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities, Luke, but it's bubbling away nicely beneath the surface.
Yeah, it's certainly being played at a tempo. There's certainly intent with both teams putting bodies forward in their recoveries, the way they're trying to break with pace and decisiveness. Obviously for Leeds, their bright sparks come down that far right-hand side, with James pushing up from a right wing-back role into a right wing role almost, pinning back Forest back 5.
And Forest, having started the game the brighter, probably have seen less of the ball over the last 10 minutes or so. Leeds beginning to find some rhythm. And they will bring it forward with Elvedi. Goes to his right-hand side for Joe Rodon. Ampadu. That's a good ball around the corner. Behind the Nottingham Forest back line. James coming onto it too to pick out. And Sells is able to make the save that he wouldn't have anticipated. As it was pulled back for Sean Longstaff 8 yards out. If he'd meant it cleanly, it would have been 1-0 to Leeds after the move of the game, but he didn't. And Sells makes the save.
And it's Dan James again getting away from Jair Cunha. I can't understand where he's trying to go. It's just inside the corner of Forest's 18-yard box. He gets away. He delays his delivery brilliantly, and Longstaff is just there gaping with 7 yards out to just tap it home, and he just can't get the contact on it. We're looking at him now. His head's in his hands. He's very, very disappointed. It should be 1-0 Leeds, but Forest have to do something on that far left-hand side.
He's only scored 3 goals for Leeds so far. He's scored a couple of those in the Premier League last season. Sean Longstaff home and away against Bournemouth, but it's the only top-flight opposition that he's found the net against as a Leeds United player. Should have scored there. Great news for Celtic, who are 4 up on aggregate now against Lask of Austria. A game being played out in Linz. Conor McGregor has scored the goal. And Celtic leading by a goal to nil after the irrepressible veteran put them ahead. Callum McGregor's goal. Celtic leading 1-0 on the night and 4-0 up on aggregate, and they will be in the Champions League draw. Barnsley leading Crewe 3-1 in this competition with O'Keefe on target. Sells with a long ball forward. Leeds win it back. Find Longstaff. Longstaff has asked an awful lot of Dan James with a poorly directed ball to where he thought James was. Played it blind. James had to retrace his steps really quickly, but he could keep it in. And Leeds will bring it away. Get it forward towards Okafor. It's just being pulled back. And Diamande's given a free kick to Leeds United about 20 yards inside their half. It's still 0-0 just past the midway stage of the first half here on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, Leeds now starting to dominate the game really in possession, and where they're moving Forest around where they don't really want to be, and they have to rely on continually rolling into Okafor coming off short. Diamande giving a foul away. Nemecho's holding the ball up brilliantly for Leeds, so Forest can't quite get themselves back into it after that bright start.
Stoke 1, Hull 0. Robert Bozenic with the goal for Stoke against the Hull side, who had that magnificent start to the Premier League campaign. These two sides have won the League Cup 5 times between them. Not an even split. Forest winning it 4 times in a 12-year period. They actually played 6 finals in 14 years towards the latter stage of Brian Clough's reign. The Leeds winners beating Arsenal with a Terry Cooper goal in the final nearly 50 years ago now, 49 seasons ago. Their sole success in this competition. Forest's recent form in it has been really poor. They haven't won a League Cup tie in 90 minutes since 2022, when they saw off Blackburn. All square tonight. Sava Schlager brings the ball forward. Had to have quick feet just to get it away from Tanaka's challenge. He was able to find Dominguez to his right. Aina then brings it forward, and it's come off Justin and out of play for a throw to the Nottingham Forest wing-back Ola Aina, right in front of Daniel Farker. And he's taking the throw back for Diamande. Diamande into the feet of Schlager and straight back again. Diamande just rolling it forward. Igor Jesus tapping it from his right foot into his left, and he's lost possession. Longstaff then getting it forward. And Mecha just couldn't quite bring it into his stride. Had he done so, he had the run on Milenkovic. But any hopes of a half chance have very quickly dissipated, and it goes through towards Sells.
Yeah, real chance there. Longstaff again, just over hitting the ball into Mecha, but Forest just need to tighten up a little bit in possession. They're forcing things now from their own half, trying to play through Leeds' shape, that they're in a real good shape. They can't really get through them, so keep giving the ball away sloppily, and Leeds are then in positions to break on them, and they showed that there. Just a poor execution of the pass from Longstaff.
That rebuilt West Ham United side have equalised at Southampton. Josh Ajala, one of the 7 players 20 or under in the starting lineup. Tanaka with a poor challenge there. Referee hoped to play the advantage. There was none. And it's a free kick to Forest near the centre circle, but Tanaka gets a yellow card and he can have few complaints.
No, absolutely not. He's absolutely crashed into the back of Jesus just outside the centre circle. Looking at it again now is a real strong tackle. He's the wrong side and he's tried to swing with his left leg. They're lucky they've both come out of it. Thankfully they're both back on their feet, but real strong challenge on, rightly a yellow card for Tanaka.
So a Forest free kick in a central area, but as Luke said, it's much nearer the edge of the centre circle than the edge of the D. Schlager stands over this with Nico Williams, and all the other outfield players are ahead of the pair. Aina just ambling forward, feigning disinterest, not before having a look at him. But most of the protagonists just wait on the edge of the penalty area. Stiffed up by Williams, headed away by the retreating Longstaff. Comes out for Aina onto his left foot. And they'll work the ball wide out of the Nottingham Forest left-hand side again, where a cross is blocked. Schlager can pick up the pieces in the heart of the midfield. Goes back for Aina. And then Aina works it out towards Nico Williams again on the Forest left. High ball swung forward for him. Milenkovic helping it on. Cleared out for Schlager. Schlager picking up the pieces in the midfield again, but losing possession this time. And Metro will be able to drive forward. It doesn't get too far before he's stopped in his tracks. And Nottingham Forest bring it away. Birmingham have equalised at home to Brentford. Callum Wilson's early goal cancelled out by Damari Gray. 1-1 there. 0-0 here with 27 minutes gone on TalkSport 2.
Yeah, again, Leeds looking to break early, and it looked like it may have been a foul. Daniel Farker stood in his technical area with his arms out. But his wave play on Andy Kitchen just got Nemetra back up on his feet. Play goes on.
And it's Leeds that will bring it forward. And a little ricochets work kindly for Okafor. Good ball through the edge of the 6-yard box. Mencha threw himself at it. Couldn't make any contact. But James picks it up. Finds Longstaff, corner of the box. Now an opportunity for Roden to come forward. And Longstaff get the delivery in. James, they were hoping that they played him offside, but Milenkovic had stayed in. He hadn't pushed out with the other defenders when the ball was eventually clipped in. It was a disappointing one from James behind the goal, and he goes out of play for a goal kick. This is the latest situation then in the EFL Cup. These are the games with goals. 20 minutes to go in Cardiff, Norwich leading there 1-0. Half-time, Middlesbrough leading at Doncaster 1-0. These games all coming up to half-time. Barnsley 3, Crewe 1, Blackburn 0, Sheffield United 1, Blackpool 0, Lincoln 1, Cambridge 0, Millwall 1, Fleetwood 3 up at home to Shrewsbury, Ipswich Leicester still goalless, Coventry leading at Plymouth 2-1, Wolves a goal up at Sheffield Wednesday, 1-1 at Southampton against West Ham, and Stoke against Hull, with the Tigers just equalising moments ago through Kieran Dow. Reading 2 up at Stevenage, Watford 2 down at home to Peterborough, Birmingham against Brentford is 1-1, and it's dead level 0-0 here at the City Ground. We've played half an hour. Leeds on the front foot again. Also in Europe, Celtic a goal up on the night and 4 up on aggregate away to Las Linz of Austria. And now a Longstaff ball didn't find its target. Forest can break quickly. Here's Chris Woods, hardly had a touch. That's a great touch though. It's through on goal before a magnificent last gasp challenge. Denies Nottingham Forest a certain goal. Brilliant defending that. I think it was Roden that came back and got his foot in. He tracked him back, and at the last moment, just as Wood was preparing to pull the trigger, he slid in and flicked it away with his left foot and denied a certain goal.
Absolutely incredible defending. It looks like Calamiendo is 2v1 against Elvedi with Wood. Wood takes it through Elvedi's legs, and he's on the penalty spot, about to just slot it into the far corner with his left foot. Rodon's recovery from inside Forest half is absolutely incredible, and he punches the air as if he scored a goal for his team. Brilliant defending.
That really was magnificent defending. And Chris Wood has hardly had a kick, but if you put the ball in the right places for him, as he showed there, he can be devastating because he just took a great first touch to nutmeg one centre-half and was half a second away from being able to complete the job.
Yeah, and credit to Elvedi. He was 2v1. He tried to slow the game down. He maybe did it just enough. Yes, he got nutmegged by Chris Wood, but he was able to allow Rodon to get back. But what a fantastic tackle. Keeps his team at 0-0.
Jacques Cunha working the ball forward for Forest, but not to good effect. And Leeds get it back, and there's so much space in the heart of the midfield here for Tanaka. Great ball forward from him as well. Okafor waiting in the middle. Cross-come shot comes in from James. Okafor then, clever little backheel flick. But he didn't get the purchase on. It was Mencher actually with the effort on the edge of the 6-yard box, off balance. And Aina had plenty of time to get back and see that it was going to go just wide of the post.
It's absolutely shocking defending from Forest. And I'm just watching Oliver Glasner's reaction. He turns round to his bench. He puts both hands on the top of it, leans into his coaching staff. He's asking, why does Dan James keep getting the freedom of the City ground down that far right-hand side? He gets through again. He should score. The rebound comes to Nemetra. He just rolls it along the 6. He then tries a flick with his right heel round the back of Diamande, and it goes just wide. But another warning sign for Forest.
So you talked earlier about the slightly lopsided formation and Forest not really too sure what they're doing with Williams playing at left wing back and Jacques Cunha on the left of the centre halves. What does Oliver Glasner do at half-time to get it sorted out so that kind of situation doesn't arise and that Dan James isn't getting the joy that he is at the moment?
Well, at the moment they're playing almost as a front three. Dan James wide right high, Nemetra straight through the middle, and then Okafor on this near left-hand side, which is causing Forest to be a back five. But they're so desperate to get pressure on the ball. Whenever Leeds break the line, they're stepping forward with 5 or 10 yards of space, and the Forest defenders are coming towards the ball. And when you do that and you can't affect the actual pass, the ball in behind cannot be defended. They have to start dropping, allowing Leeds to have the ball, but staying compact and narrow and forcing the ball wide, not letting it go through the middle of their back three.
That's great insight from former Forest captain Luke Chambers. 32 minutes gone. It's 0-0 here on TalkSport 2 between his old club and Leeds United. The first time that they've met in the League Cup since a semi-final back in 1978. Forest won that 7-3 on aggregate. They won home and away. Well, it's a much more even contest so far tonight. Leeds probably having the better of the half chances so far, but Forest are still with some presentable opportunities of their own. Another goalkeeper's had a spectacular save to make mine. With 12 minutes to go to half-time, 0-0, and no extra time, but penalties on the agenda if necessary tonight. Diamande getting it away here for Forest into the feet of Igor Jesus. He takes it inside the centre circle. Ampadu with a sliding challenge that couldn't stop this latest Forest attack. Callum Muendo now coming in off the left. Back from him to Dominguez. Dominguez with a ball that bounces a couple of times through the centre circle, and Diamande will get on the end of it. And into the feet of Schlager, and straight back for Diamande, the Ivorian, who's playing the 150th game of his career today. But again, possession turned over very cheaply. Leeds get it forward, Tanaka, and then Milenkovic coming back, poking it back towards his own goal, stopping Tanaka getting a shot in. And Sells had to dive very quickly to his right. And from here, it looks as though it probably would have gone wide of the post and anyway out for a corner. But Sells not able to take any chances, but decent defending from Milenkovic to be able to get back and cover. Still 0-0 with 11 to go to half-time.
I think the issue that Forest are having, they're almost playing a 5-2-3 with the three high up the pitch in Jesus, Wood, Calamuendo, which is leaving Schlager and Dominguez against the three of Ampadu, Longstaff, and at times Tanaka. So every time they try and press to try and get high pressure on through Glasner's request, they've always got that extra man that then can turn, which João Cunha at the left side of Forest's back five is almost getting tried to drawn into Longstaff, which is leaving a straight foot race for Nico Williams to get absolutely roasted by James down that right hand side.
Brentford have taken the lead again at Birmingham. Aaron Hickey's goal, 2-1 to Keith Andrews Bees. Have had a great start to this season. Forest working a long ball forward, but not to good effect. Haramovic able to come back and nod it back to his goalkeeper. He was involved in the World Cup as well. You might remember him getting sent off live on TalkSport in a game between the Bosnians and the Swiss. But had a really good reputation in Italy, playing for Sassuolo, and Leeds paid 14 million euros for him, 33 million quid there or thereabouts. And he's got the ball now, turning again on the edge of his own D. Working it out to the right-hand side for another new boy, Alvedi, and back for Trafford. Nico Alvedi once more. Way inside his own half. He's getting it out of the right-hand touchline, but caught in the process, playing the pass. And it's going to be a free kick to Leeds with 9.5 to go to half-time. Half-time whistles blowing up and down the country in the 7:45 kickoffs. The likes of Peterborough leading their respective cup ties. They're 2 up away at Watford, which would be something of a shock. And Leicester, bearing in mind the start that they've made, 0-0 at Ipswich would be a creditable result. But that's the half-time score at Portman Row. Ball is with Sells, just outside his own penalty area. We're on TalkSport 2, 0-0. Sells driving it long over Chris Wood. Alvedi beating in his good defensive positioning. Longstaff for a moment the most advanced of the Leeds players, and he had a little look over his shoulder trying to work out how that had happened. He chased after the ball that was laid back for Sells. Couldn't get in the way of it as it's cleared. Igor Jesus mopping up on the Forest right can go back for Diamande.
Forest just a little bit of sloppiness in their shape now. We've got Calamuendo playing as a number 10 alongside Jesus. They're almost both in the centre circle with Chris Wood, so it's a little bit too compact, not really stretching Leeds. Leeds are real confident and compact, trying to defend every time they play the ball. There's someone tight. Every time they play the ball forward, someone competing that ball. So at the minute, Forest just need to get themselves back into a shape where they can dominate a bit more of possession, because at the moment it's all Leeds.
And if you look at Glasner now, he's on the edge of his technical area and can hear him from here, 40 yards away, bellowing at somebody, giving hand gestures, and not happy with the defensive shape at all. Be happy with that ball though from Einar. Very nearly got Chris Wood in, and Justin did well to recover, came into a central position, bailed out his centre halves and got it back for his keeper.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying about the lack of shape from Forest. Ola Einar's the highest player for their right wing back. He's playing highest point of attack, and he just nicked one round the corner, and Chris Wood almost looks like he's through on goal through the middle. But credit to James Justin, his turn of pace to recover and roll it back to James Trafford was tremendous. Real good defending.
In the 7 o'clock kickoff, Norwich 2 up at Cardiff now. They've got about 10 minutes to go in there. Andy Cernach with the second goal. It looks as though the Canaries are going to be in the third round draw, which we will bring you tomorrow on TalkSport. And in the Virtue Trophy, Chelsea's youngsters 2 down at Bristol Rovers not too long ago. Got that one back to 2-2. That's a 7 o'clock kickoff as well, so they've got 7 minutes to go. They're down in the West Country. Forest doing well. Dominguez riding a couple of challenges, getting it forward out on the far touchline. Calamuendo with a nice touch. Dominguez has continued his run. Cross flash through the penalty area. Comes to Ola Einar, and he's put it over the bar. Maybe had a little bit too much time, because he could bring it down on the edge of the penalty area and shape up to shoot. It was, dare I say it, the finish of a man who scored 8 goals in nearly 300 games.
Yeah, exactly that. But it's real good play for Forest. First bit of bright spark we've seen in the last 10 minutes, and it's a man who's been their best player in the first half. Calamuendo played the ball into him just outside Leeds' penalty area. Just first time pass out to Nico Williams, who fizzes a ball in, but it's behind Chris Wood. It's behind Jesus, and it's Aino just approaches the 18-yard box, takes a brilliant first touch, pops his up off the instep of his right foot, and just smashes a volley, but it goes 5 yards over the bar, and everyone breathes a sigh of discontent, but promising signs and reaction from Forest.
Well, if Oliver Glasner has been showing visible frustration with some elements of the way that his side have played, he loved that move. That was what he's hoping to see on a much more regular basis, and he turned and applauded and made sure everyone realised that he was happy with that. But his side have got more defending to do now with 5 to go to the break. Einar, ball's come off the top of his head. It's out for Okafor, whose cross was well blocked by the recovering Einar. Did well. Bailed himself out there. Ball out of play for a throw on the Leeds United left. Talk about what Glasner's seeing, what he's not happy with, what he is happy with. I'll get your views on Daniel Farke's thoughts, or potential thoughts on this performance in a moment. But his side have got a long throw in the meantime, which Ethan Ampert, who's going to take. Well, the league skipper hurling it in directly in towards the near post. And Sells very nearly got caught underneath that, but was able to get his hands up and then was fouled. That's a free kick to Forest away to our left. What's Farker making of this?
Well, I think he'll be pleased. I think his tactical awareness and way he set his team up is certainly outfoxing Oliver Glasner at the minute, whether that's through his players understanding what is being asked or whether it's Oliver Glasner giving his team the wrong instructions. But I think for him at the moment, he can see the outlets, he can see what his team are trying to do. He's playing that front three, like I mentioned, when Dan James gets up there. They're playing really, really wide and stretching Forest into a back five, whereas for Oliver Glasner and Forest, they're playing with a narrow front three, which is allowing Leeds to go man for man, 3v3 at the back, which gives them that extra player in midfield and up in attack when they need it.
That third goal for Brentford, who put 3 past Tottenham at the weekend, and they're 3-1 up before half-time at Birmingham tonight. Nathan Collins has scored that. The Birmingham 1, Brentford 3. Free kick to Forest here, 4 to go to half-time. There's not going to be too much stoppage time to be added on. And the free kick's going to be taken by Schlager, who stands over it with Nico Williams again, almost on halfway. And the Leeds United back line defending about 5 yards outside the penalty area. It's flashed in pretty low and flat. It comes down for Milenkovic and bounces awkwardly on the penalty spot. He puts his right foot through it and slices it high and wide of Trafford's right-hand post.
Yeah, it's another set piece that it's a not great delivery from Nico Williams. It's quite low and flat, just drops outside the 18-yard box in the middle of that D. And credit to Diamande, keeps it alive, flicks it on, it drops to Milenkovic, who takes a decent touch and just slices across it with his right foot, and it goes high and wide above James Trafford goal.
Tomorrow, remember, 2 more live League Cup ties for you. It's Spurs against Charlton, a London derby, over on TalkSport. Here on TalkSport 2 will be Newcastle against West Bromwich Albion. And both of those games kicking off 7:45 tomorrow on TalkSport. Then Thursday night, Chelsea and Fulham, both in action in their respective League Cup ties as well, that we'll also bring in on the TalkSport network. Got 3 minutes to go to half-time here with James Trafford having the ball at his feet. Forest's home form towards the end of last season, much improved. In fact, their defeat to Leeds here on Saturday was their first at the City Ground since they lost the European tie to Midtjylland back in March. Leeds away form, they draw lots of games away from home. They've been really tough to beat on the road through 2026, losing only 2 out of 13 away from Elland Road. Here's Igor Jesus. His right-hand side for Aina. Aina's ball through a congested midfield area, didn't find Williams. Leeds get it forward quickly. Milenkovic with a strong header, got it clear of Metcha. And Schlager trying to go square for Williams, couldn't find him. James making a run into a more central position, and he can find Okafor. Okafor coming towards the edge of the penalty area. Longstaff again making a third man run towards the edge of the penalty area, but it's knocked away from him. The Haramovic. Now Tanaka. Leeds 20 yards outside the Nottingham Forest penalty area. Longstaff gets it forward but gives it away. Dominguez snaffled that one up. And then Tanaka, the red Eagle, Jesus' intention was almost down on one knee as he won possession back with a block. And he can get Noah Okafor going down the Leeds United left. Back from him to Haramovic. Now to Ampadu. Ampadu playing it to his right-hand side for Roden. Nearly every Leeds United player involved in this move, apart from Elvedi, and right on cue, they've worked it back for him now on the halfway line. Leeds new boy wearing number 30 to Ampadu. Ampadu saw Metcha making a run off Milenkovic there, but he didn't think he was going to be able to squeeze it over the top and didn't play the pass. The ball retention, the order of the day. Coming up for half-time here on TalkSport 2. We're in the final scheduled minute. My guess is 1 more at the most. In fact, the 4th official hasn't bothered picking the numbers board up, so might not be any. Here's Tanaka. Back inside his own half for Haramovic. Back for Elvedi. Will Leeds United be able to put one last attack together before the break? Long ball over the top that James will chase. He's trying to flick it on towards Metcha. Should be easy for Williams to bring down. He can work it back for his goalkeeper. Sells will clear from the edge of the 6-yard box. Igor Jesus makes a barnstorming run back to try and link up the play and flick it on. Ampadu winning it back, but as he plays it forward, the half-time whistle goes. And just as it was between these two sides on Saturday, at the break it's 0-0, Luke.
Yeah, real good game, to be fair to him. A lot more action than the weekend, and both teams are trying to win the game. There's certainly a tactical battle going on at the moment. Daniel Farke, for me, is winning that hands down. And yes, Forest have had a couple of half chances where they've played some nice football, but just the execution on their finishing and their final touch has not quite been there. But Leeds has certainly had probably the better of the opening 45.
So is this something that Forest will be able to sort out tactically very easily during the half-time break? Is it something that needs to be done with changes of personnel?
No, I don't think they need to change personnel. I think they've had some good performances throughout the 11 so far this half, but I think they're just a little bit disconnected in their defence to attack at the moment. I think Leeds are dominating the midfield area because they're outnumbering Forest, and they're either going to have to change something in that front three, maybe dropping Jesus into a 10 role or Calamiendo playing him wide. They either got to go really wide with their front three or one of them to drop in.
Leeds have had the majority of possession. They've certainly had the better chances. 6 shots to 4, but for all the advantages that they've been able to create from about the 15-minute mark onwards, only 2 attempts on target, and that'll be a source of real frustration for Farke.
Oh, absolutely, and it'll be a source of frustration for the players involved. You mentioned Mecha, you've got Longstaff, who had a certain opportunity to score, even Dan James, who's been tremendous on that right-hand side. He had his opportunity where he should have put his side ahead, so Farke will be disappointed, but he'll also be pleased that his team are creating some real chances where they could have had 3 goals. Wasn't it for lack of poor finishing, really?
Interesting dynamic, though, this evening, with the two teams making a few changes, not wholesale changes by any stretch of the imagination. Certainly, the evidence of the first 45 minutes, this might sound as though it's an obvious thing to say. I don't think it is when you look at League Cup ties that we've seen over the last 10, 15 years. They both want to win this.
Well, listen, for all the changes, in my opinion, these are still first-team 11s. This isn't a team where you're seeing loads of young players that haven't had minutes of football. There's multi-million-pound signings on show. There's players that all believe that they should be in this starting 11, and that's for both teams. And for me, at this stage of the competition, it's absolutely brilliant to see.
So the benches, let me just reiterate who can be called upon for Forest: Murillo, Sangare, Hudson-Odoi and Hutchinson, McAtee, Nets, Abbott and Dalandoy. For Leeds, Bogle, Calvert-Lewin, Wilson and Aronson, Biol, Stack, and the 2 youngsters, Cresswell and Lienu, as well as the substitute goalkeepers, John Victor and Lucas Perry. So there is plenty there in reserve. Daniel Farke, the happier of the 2 managers. And we've got the second half to a conclusion. Penalties, if necessary, of course. Coming your way next on TalkSport 2, the halftime score, Forest 0, Leeds 0.
Frogs Clips just dropped in Happy Meal. Express yourself however you feel. Sports mode, stylish, or superstar too. Whatever your vibe, we've got the mode for you. Some fun, some food, it's all inside this Happy Meal.
Until the 21st of September from 11 a.m. Includes 1 pre-selected bulk or toy. Crocs range comprised of toys only while stocks last. Fair ordering policy applied.
Hi.
Hiya.
I'd like to cancel my gym membership, please.
Of course. You'll just need to give 90 days notice.
90?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Fine.
In writing.
What?
By post.
But you're right here.
And Gary does cancellations. He's off for a month.
Just want to leave.
Oh, have you tried puppy yoga?
What a load of malarkey. At Smarty Mobile, we keep things simple. With SIM plans you can leave anytime. Smarty, simple, honest mobile.
From plasterers to plumbers and electricians to engineers, Britain is filled with doers. And to get the job done, they drive Ford commercial vehicles. This summer, test drive the Ford Transit Custom, Britain's favourite van for 6 decades, and save at least £3,000. Or, if you own a pickup, book a test drive in the Ford Ranger and get £2,000 off the nation's best-selling pickup. Search Ford Test Drive Event, because some sleeves never roll down. Ready, get, Ford. Contract by 30th of September. Exclusions apply. Bestseller claims based on SMMT registration data. To verify, search Ford Best-Selling Commercial Vehicles UK.
It's your dynamic destination for all the latest sporting action, featuring live commentary of all the biggest events, including football, PGA golf, horse racing, Premiership rugby, cricket, boxing, and all the big-hitting drama of the NFL. Plus, TalkSport 2's official betting partner, William Hill, is always on hand with the insight and in-depth analysis you need. TalkSport 2 with official betting partner, William Hill. 18+, gambleaware.org.
We're surrounded by alien foes. The fate of the galaxy depends on us.
Fancy a Mackey's? There are daily offers waiting in the McDonald's app.
But the universe...
The main mission can wait. Unlock daily offers in the McDonald's app now. 18 plus app only. Different offers available each weekday and on weekends until the 27th of September. Check out for details. Subject to availability. Fees apply to delivery. One use per day.
Stand by for a super savvy Saturday of scintillating live football on TalkSport.
He put them in front. Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest.
Cracking coverage commences at 11. Kickoff at 12:30.
Just a wonderful bit of play.
On for a supersonic Saturday of live game day football on TalkSport. Yeah.
Friday night, the Premier League live on TalkSport.
What the way to do? Crystal Palace versus Manchester City.
Preparations begin at 7
with flat-out full-match commentary from 8. Hold on to your hats for a first-class Friday night of live football
on TalkSport. Rah, rah, rah!
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app, and on your smart speaker.
The Carabao Cup, live on TalkSport 2.
And here at the City Ground, it's 0-0 between Forest and Leeds. The Leeds subs out warming up away to our right-hand side, but none of them particularly vigorously. Doesn't look as though there are any imminent changes. No sign, actually, of any of the Forest players warming up away to our left-hand side. We've got the second half to come with the potential at the moment of penalties as well. It's 0-0 when we resume in 8 or 9 minutes' time. Got more Carabao Cup action on the way tomorrow evening live on TalkSport. I'll be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as Spurs look to get back on track after their 3-0 defeat to Brentford at the weekend. They face Championship side Charlton Athletic, who have had a perfect start of their campaign, 3 wins out of 3 in League and Cup. Spurs head coach Roberto De Zerbi's admitted that the Cup competitions are going to be incredibly important for Tottenham this season.
For me, it's like Premier League. We are not in the condition to make difference. We have to play well and we have to use to winning the game, the matches. Matches, non-match. Matches 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to change the mood. We can. Yes, we can because we already did last season. 6 games, 3 win, 2 draw, and 1 defeat in Chelsea in the last 6. And I heard last season we can't win the game because the last game we won was in December. And I think also the environment has to change this. The players, the people inside has to change this mentality. And it's a challenge. When I said we have to become team, I'm speaking about this because the quality of the players we had already in Brentford enough for sure to play much better and to do much better.
That's Roberto De Zerbi, the Tottenham boss. His side taking on Charlton tomorrow's 7:45 kickoff, and it is live over on TalkSport 2. Now here on TalkSport 2 tomorrow evening, we'll be at St James's Park as Newcastle face Championship side West Brom. The Baggies also, like Charlton, have a perfect record to start the campaign. They're full of confidence as they head to the northeast. And ahead of the tie, TalkSport's Tom Ross caught up with the West Brom head coach James Morris.
Yeah, very tough week. I think it's an exciting week. The challenges that's going to throw at us, coming up against a Premier League side who was, when I was watching on Sunday, like powerful, exciting, in their home stadium with the fans, the atmosphere. So, nice challenge to have. We'll get tested physically and mentally in the game, but we have to see it as a challenge.
Whatever 11 they pick, they're Premier League players.
Yeah, definitely. Got quality all over the pitch, but I feel like we can go there and put up a challenge against them.
You've surprised a lot of people, the start you've had to this season. What's your biggest? Is there a problem though with that for you and players? Overconfident? Do you have to keep their feet on the floor?
100%, yeah. I think we've got to use the excitement to our benefit, but also, it's only 2 games. We know how challenging the season's going to be. The squad's going to be tested. There's going to be times when it won't go our way, and we've just got to fight through that bit.
watching the game at the weekend, the thing that stood out was in the 85th minute, you're still running as hard as you were in the first half. I mean, how big a part of this season is that for you?
Yeah, I think as well at the Hawthorns, we want to make it a tough place to come. And certainly, the physicality of our team proved too much for Burnley at times. Listen to the manager's comments after the game, he even said it himself, so that's pleasing. And that's got to be the benchmark now for every game.
When you put your squad together, do you look at players and how they can gel together? Because one thing that stands out is the togetherness on the pitch. You can see it.
Yeah, but I also think it was partly down to last year's season of having a little bit of failure. Can always build towards success. You've got to fail to succeed in life and in football. And I remind them about the last season, if you don't want that again. So, and then obviously we had the success of the last 12 games, and we've tried to continue through pre-season with that, and also put in psychological sessions of hard sessions where you've got to run and see how far you can go.
As a player and as a manager, the cup competitions, do they turn you on? Do you get turned on by the cup?
Yeah, I'm excited by it. I've been at this club long enough to know that our cup runs have been not good enough really, and we've got to start taking it seriously.
Now, Newcastle, what are you expecting from them on the pitch?
Physicality, pace, power, quality in certain areas. We've got the youngish team now as well as a young manager. So yeah, we're going to have to be aware of their threats and try to combat them.
Well, he's playing it down a little bit there, James Morrison, but it has been an excellent start of the season for Albion. They're at Newcastle tomorrow. It's here live from 7:45 on TalkSport 2. Also tomorrow, new episode of the TalkSport Daily Podcast is out for you to enjoy. No BS with Max Scott and Ollie Klink. It's in the title, No Big Six. They'll run through the other 14 teams in the Premier League, assessing their start of the season. So both Forest and Leeds will be getting a mention. You can find it on the TalkSport app, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Second half, probably 3 minutes away or so here at the City Ground. The time for me to remind you what's going on elsewhere tonight in the EFL Cup. These are the latest scores. Doncaster 0, Middlesbrough 1, Barnsley 3, Crewe 1, Blackburn 0, Sheffield United 1, Blackpool 1, Lincoln 3. Zach Ashworth sent off for Blackpool, and then Lincoln scored twice in 2 minutes with goals from Tom Bayliss and Rob Street, so they lead by 3-1 at Bloomfield Road. Millwall still leading at Cambridge by a goal to nil. Fleetwood 3 up at home to Shrewsbury. Ipswich 0, Leicester 0. Premier League opposition being held by a League One team, and it's the same story at Home Park, where Coventry were 2 up in 5 minutes away to Plymouth. That's now 2-2. Xavier Amici equalising just a couple of minutes ago. 2-2 there. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Wolves 2. Southampton 1, West Ham 2. West Ham ringing the changes tonight. A really young side. Josh Ajala has scored in each half, and West Ham have come from behind a lead at Southampton 2-1. Stevenage 0, Reading 2. Stoke 1, Hull 1. Another Premier League side being held. Walsall against Leyton Orient is goalless. Peterborough 3 up at Watford, and Brentford 3-1 up at Birmingham ahead of the second half about to start at St Andrews. One result from earlier, Cardiff 1, Norwich 2. So the Canaries are through. And in the EFL Trophy, Bristol Rovers 2, Chelsea 2. They're currently in a penalty shootout where both sides have missed one so far. Bristol Rovers 2-2 with Chelsea's youngsters in that game at the Memorial Stadium. Also, Champions League qualification tonight. Celtic, who won the first leg 3-0 in Glasgow against Lask of Austria last week, 1-1 ahead of the second half, starting there 4-1 up on aggregate. And it was Callum McGregor's goal 20-odd minutes in that really cemented it for Celtic, you feel. More live action coming up. I told you about the 2 games tomorrow. Tottenham against Charlton and Newcastle against West Brom. Then on Thursday, Chelsea-Luton is a 7:30 kickoff. That's over on TalkSport. Brighton, who are held in the Arctic Circle by Tromsø in the Conference League playoff, go back to the south coast and they take on the second leg against the Norwegian side. It's a 7:30 kickoff, TalkSport 2 on Thursday. Friday, the Premier League returns. Palace against Manchester City. We've got Wrexham Birmingham on TalkSport 2. They're both 8 o'clock kickoffs. And also, let me point you in the right direction for Forest's next game, which is away at Liverpool. It's a Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. It's on Game Day Live and exclusive to National Radio. You won't hear it anywhere else. Build-up starting at 11 ahead of the 12:30 kickoff at Anfield on Saturday. No changes made by either team ahead of the start of the second half here on TalkSport 2. 0-0. Still waiting for the deadlock to be broken. Forest red shirts, white shorts. Kicking from right to left towards the Trent end. Leeds in their change kit of yellow and black shorts. The better team in the first 45 minutes. Will they be able to make that pay in the second half? Forest getting us underway. Sells with a long ball forward. Igor Jesus will flick it back towards the midfield, but only to Luke Mecha. Then Ampadu puts his foot on it, helps it out towards Haramovic over on the left-hand side. And working it forward, but can't find Okafor. A little bit error-strewn the opening 30 seconds of the second half here on TalkSport 2. In the company of the former Forest captain, Luke Chambers. Luke, as sort of Schlager picks up a yellow card for pulling back Tanaka. Work to do for Forest to get their defensive organisation a little bit better in this second period.
Yeah, we mentioned the tactical battle that's going on between Daniel Farker and Oliver Glasner, and immediately you're looking at Callum Owendo, who's playing predominantly on that wide left role. He's now looks like he's switched over to the right, so whether that's to try and counteract things with Igor Jesus down this left-hand side, partnering up with Nico Williams, that is more in front of us now. It'll be interesting to see. So far it seems to be very much the same as it was for both sides in that first half.
Forest lining up Sells in goal, Diamande, Milenkovic and Jacques Cunha the back three, although Aina and Williams have frequently been forced back. But Dominguez and Schlager in the heart of the midfield. Callum Owendo and Igor Jesus wide, of Chris Wood up front for Leeds. It's Trafford in goal. Roden, Elvedi and Muharamovic. Then James, Ampadu, Tanaka and Justin. And Longstaff getting forward in support of Mecha with Okafor off the other side for Leeds United. We haven't seen any of the subs come on as yet. Offside flags up here against one of the Leeds United players as they just retreated from an offside position. Forest to take the free kick quickly, possibly from the wrong place. Schlager coming forward. It's a really good run from him. Makes it towards the edge of the penalty area. And he looks short of ideas. And Ampadu just stood firm and whipped the ball off his feet and can bring it away. And now Leeds United will be able to attack down the left-hand side. So it's worked back by Okafor through the midfield from Longstaff down towards Dan James. And Leeds have their first corner of the night as his cross is deflected behind by Williams.
And that's what Leeds have done so far in the whole game as Forest looked to break, and like you say, Schlager drove through the middle, showed good power and pace, but lack of ideas right through the heart of Leeds. But the pace and power that Leeds respond with and how quickly they can get up towards Matt Sells in the Forest goal was brilliant again. Dan James gets an early touch down this near side and gets himself a corner.
In the Virtue Trophy, Chelsea won that penalty shootout against Bristol Rovers. Longstaff to take this corner for Leeds United. It's the first of the game. Forest won 2 in the first half. Just clipped it and it's curved behind before coming back in. It's out of play for a goal kick. Punch clear anyway by Sells, but Longstaff will be frustrated. Just started it going that little bit too far wide. That's a goal kick that Matt Sells will take. 48 gone, 0-0.
Yeah, they're the ones, especially if you're a manager and even as centre-half from experience of being there, when you run all that way up early on inside the second half, when you're trying to get yourselves on the score sheet and that cross doesn't come in with any quality and you let Forest off the hook. Real frustrating point there from Longstaff delivering that corner.
Celtic have conceded again at the start of the second half, and maybe just a little sign of worry coming in. They were 4 up on aggregate at one stage tonight. It's 4-2 on aggregate now. They're trailing 2-1 this evening out in Austria. Peterborough 4 up at Watford over on TalkSport. There's a Peterborough fan trying to get his head around that at the moment. Adrian Durham taking you through all of the goals as they go in over on TalkSport. So if you've got the app, you can flip between that and our live coverage from here at the City Ground tonight, where we're 4 minutes in to the second half. And still the major drama of the night lies ahead of us. Leeds United in possession. Worked it back for Muharimovic. Will Lancashire has scored a second goal for Middlesbrough, who are 2 up at Doncaster in the 7:30 kickoff, so that's only got about 10-11 minutes to go. Joe Rodon wearing 6 for Leeds United. Back for Tanaka, who's the deepest of the outfield players at the moment for Leeds. Back from him to Trafford. Siphoning it out to the far touchline. Tanaka had to sprint to keep it in. It wasn't the best pass, but he salvaged it okay. Finds his goalkeeper. Longer route one ball through the middle from him this time. Milenkovic going up for it, wins it. Diamande gets it back for Sells and then shows for the return pass. And the former Sporting Lisbon man works it for. Cushion header back from Callum Mwendo. It's fallen straight for Longstaff in the midfield. Good ball. Dan James, he's in and scores. And Leeds United lead by a goal to nil. Nottingham Forest pressing self-destruct at the back. They just made it so easy. One error from Callum Mwendo. Leeds seized upon it. James did the rest. And Leeds United are ahead.
And I'm sick and tired of saying Dan James's name from the minute 1 to now. And he's had another chance. He's had space of the whole City Ground the whole evening. And Forest give the ball away so sloppily. But credit to Longstaff. Takes his time. Delivers a ball across the pitch. Just the edge of the 18-yard box of Forest. Dan James takes a touch. Has a look up. Has another look up. And then just lifts it over Matt Sells as he approaches him just outside the 6-yard box into that far corner with his right foot. Brilliant calmness, brilliant goal from Leeds.
First goal for Dan James since the back end of the season before last. He's netted a couple for Wales in between times, but it ends a 22-goal drought for Leeds United. And they're ahead here at the City Ground by a goal to nil. They've lost each of their last 3 League Cup ties. But at the moment, they are sending Forest to a 6th successive League Cup defeat. 1-0 Leeds. And over the 51 minutes that we've seen, barring the first 15 where Forest probably on top, Leeds deserve this.
Leeds definitely do deserve it, and credit to them. When we said, have they lacked that little bit of quality when it comes to the finishing touch or the final pass? Yes, they have in the first 45. But in that moment there, when Forest gave the ball away, and they've been doing it all night, when they've given the ball away, they haven't been in a set formation to build that possession from. They've tried to be expansive, and if you give the ball away when all your left wing back is out of position or your centre halves, you will give yourselves problems, and they've done that again, giving the ball away. No one's in set space. Dan James is able to drive through the middle unopposed and deliver a brilliant finish for Leeds.
So one of Luke's former clubs losing, another one winning. Ipswich have just taken the lead at home to Leicester. And Sundra Egley has scored that goal just past the hour mark at Portman Road. Ipswich 1, Leicester 0, but Leeds United leading Forest here by a goal nil. The only all-Premier League tie of the round. Einer's got the ball for Forest, who having lost 1-0 to Leeds here at the weekend, still looking for their first goal of the season. And you mentioned it when we were talking before the game. It's with 4 days in, but it did feel as though there's just a little bit of pressure on Nottingham Forest coming into tonight after the season they had last time round, the home defeat here, the fact that they go to Liverpool live on TalkSport on Saturday. Don't want to be going to Anfield on the back of back-to-back home defeats in the first week of the campaign.
Absolutely you don't. You're hearing a little bit of discontent as well and discernment when they do give the ball away or the touch is poor, and you just noticed an incident there in the middle of the pitch. Igor Jesus gets dragged back. He stops, stands still, throws his arms up in the air. But it's the reactions that the fans of the City Ground want. They don't want their players feeling sorry for themselves. You have to just get on with it. Andy Kitchen isn't going to stop the game. He's going to let it flow, which he has done brilliantly in the middle of the pitch as the referee tonight. So Forest need to show the right body language. Otherwise, it can get very, very difficult to play at the City Ground if you're wanting a player in red and you're not showing the right body language in those circumstances.
Forest have a player who's gone down. It's Callum Mwendo. There's no foul. Ampadu back to the edge of the D. It's play for by Elvedi. Longstaff, little back heel flick from him. Tanaka will take over. And again, Glasner turns and He's got just a look of disdain on his face as he embarks in conversation with Michael Angerschmidt, his number 2, down in the dugout. Not happy with elements of the performance in the first half, and might be even more frustrated that the half-time team talk that they gave hasn't been able to rectify any of the problems. They've got the ball at the back now. Cunha can clear, getting it forward towards Wood, but he's had very little change out of Elvedi all night. It's that one opportunity for Wood that was denied by a brilliant last gasp challenge from Roden. Forest clear again. Sells, losing out. Callum Mwendo has done well, and he's got pace, and he'll take it on down the right flank. He's got 2 to aim at in the centre. Igor Jesus going near post. Wood at the far post. Good save. Trafford dived to his left. Wood hit it crisply into the bottom right-hand corner, and that's the best save of the night. Now Leeds can break, and they'll bring him forward up the right-hand side here with Mecha. Mecha to Okafor in space, inside the penalty area on his right foot, and he should have scored, but has put it wide. Chance at either end in the space of 15 seconds.
And Jim, I don't think you gave James Trafford enough credit. I think the save is absolutely incredible. It's brilliant play for Forest. They get away. Callum Mwendo, Chris Wood, finally a bit of physicality. The ball goes up to him in the middle of the pitch. He plays it out to Callum Mwendo, who wins the challenge, drives down that far right-hand side, cuts it back as Chris Wood delays his run. He strikes it brilliantly back across Trafford, who gets down with his left arm. So strong and powerful to keep it out of that near post.
Oh, some save. You're absolutely right. No chance for Sells at the other end. Had Okafor been able to get the ball to curve in just a little bit more quickly, it probably went 1.5 feet wide.
But that's the story of the night, isn't it? Forest go forward, Leeds win the ball back, ride their luck a little bit at the way they break. Nemecha, Okafor tonight have been brilliant, stretching the game for Leeds, holding the ball up, but that was brilliant play because then it ends up 3v3. And they use it well. Okafor does brilliantly to use Diomande coming towards him. He steps back across him and tries to bend it in that far post, but just watches it go half a yard wide of that post.
Oh, it's a good cut tie this. Aina brings it forward. He's been fouled. Free kick the Forest, 20 outside the penalty area. Still jeopardy here. Not so much at Vicarage Road. Watford 0, Peterborough 5. See, Watford managers sacked for less than that.
We certainly have. How many?
Oh, 423, I think. Leicester have equalised at Ipswich at Portman Road. Olabade Aluko making it 1-1. Ipswich only ahead for 5 minutes there. Free kick here for Forest as they look to get themselves back on level terms with a swift equaliser. Dan James giving Leeds the lead 7 minutes ago. Both sides have had good chances since then. Williams taking this latest free kick deep towards Jai Cunha, who's beaten by Mecha back on defensive duty. Ball goes towards the touchline. Igor Jesus elects to keep it in. Callum Mwendo with the ball. Little flick on from Jai Cunha. Down from Wood. He was offside. And it's a free kick to Leeds inside their own box. 1-0 to the visitors. 12 minutes gone in the second half.
Decent response from Forrester. They've had a couple of breaks forward and just a bit of quality from that set piece again. They're trying some really flat, low curling balls from really deep, whereas maybe they just need to put a little bit more height on those deliveries, direct them towards Milenkovic, Cunha, Diomande, who have big physical presence, and just put a bit more pressure on Leeds, and they're just struggling to do that at the moment.
Trafford clears his lines. He's had difficulty with his kicking tonight. There have been 2 or 3 that he's put straight out of play. He's done it again there. It's a throw that'll be taken over on the Forest right. But listen, he's done what he was paid to do with that magnificent save from Chris Wood. That Wood 11 without a goal for club and country, one of the longest droughts of his entire career. Only 3 goals in 12 for injury-hit months for the likeable Kiwi, who scored 40-odd for Leeds at a rate of 1 every other game. And he has actually scored against Leeds in a League Cup tie before, back in his Burnley days, but hasn't been able to take either of the 2 chances that he's had tonight. Thwarted magnificently by Roden in the first half and then by Trafford in the second. Leeds, 1 goal up.
As if they're trying to do and follow out those orders, they're just not being able to get to grips with Leeds in their formation.
Here come Leeds again. Little step over inside the penalty area. Okafor, good ball retention. He's pulled it back. Ampadu has put it harmlessly wide. And out of play for a goal kick. And Forest are going to make a quadruple change. There's no manager's happy when he's pulling 4 players off. Murillo, Hudson-Odoi, Dan Ndoye, and Nets are the players that are going to be coming on. Diamande, the first man off. So Murillo on to replace him. Jack, couldn't you, you'd imagine, go to the right of the 3 centre-halves to accommodate that. Cali Mwendo coming on. He's done well tonight.
He has. There'll be fingers pointed at him for giving the ball away, but just because Forest is so stretched, if a ball goes into the striker, you shouldn't be able to have one pass cut through your team and they score a goal. So the rest of his team will have to have a look at themselves. That's very impressed with his performance tonight.
Dan Ndoye is on for Chris Wood. And Luca Nets is going to come on for Ola Aina, who is testing the patience of the referee in terms of the 10 seconds it takes to come off. He's been bailed out here by the fact they're making 4 changes, and the 4th official, Stephen Parkinson, can't work the numbers board. It's the only thing that saved Aina there. Well, Wood's number came up, but he hasn't come off. He's stayed on. Hugo Jesus has come off instead. The quadruple change. Breaking news, Bruno Fernandes has been named as the PFA Player of the Year. Bunny Shaw has won the women's accolade. It's 1-0 to Leeds United here. Wood, trying to flick the ball on, has headed it straight out of play for a throw. West Ham 3-1 up at Southampton. Taddy Castellanos, who hit the post with that last gasp penalty, awarded by this referee at the weekend, has scored tonight. Southampton 1, West Ham 3. Celtic nerves really twitching now. 3-1 down in Austria. They won the first leg 3-0, but they've conceded 3 tonight, having taken an early lead, and a 4-3 up on aggregate now, having been 4-0 up. Hudson-Odoi working the ball inside the Leeds penalty area. Half cleared, out as far as Nets. Nets to his left-hand side. Now Hudson-Odoi pulling it back. Murillo, urged to shoot, is never going to. He has it again now from Dominguez. Play force, a good ball between the lines. Dominguez, and Trafford just makes sure, helped it on its way over the bar. Much better from Nottingham Forest, and they win their first corner of the second half.
Yeah, and it involved almost all 4 substitutes from Oliver Glasner, and it just given the City ground a bit of a lift, a real response from the manager. Murillo, with his brilliant left foot culture, just finds the run of Dominguez, who has played in a more sitting role tonight. He just first time he's ran forward into Leeds' penalty area. Lovely ball, takes it on the touch, left foot across the goal. It's just rising too high. Trafford just flicks it over the bar for a corner.
Middlesbrough 3 up at Doncaster, and Ipswich back ahead at home to Leicester through Marcelino Nunez. It was Jeremy Sarmiento that got the Borough goal. In comes the corner, punched away, left-footed back in from Schlager. The overhead kick attempt was optimistic. It was immediately blocked anyway. Comes down for Nico Williams, left-hand side of the box here. And his cross is blocked. Nico playing it right back. Now that the changes have been made, his left-footed ball stabbed back through the penalty area has been missed. And Luca Nets is going to come across from left back to right back to try and stop this Leeds United counter-attack, and he's done that very cynically. And if he escapes a yellow card there, he will be very fortunate. Because he's got fresh legs, he could make that foul and then sprint 40 yards away from the referee to get out of his eye shot and ear shot, and he hasn't been booked for it.
No, I don't like to point too many fingers at referees, but Kitchen's got that one wrong this evening, but he hasn't got much wrong, so credit to him. But certainly was an attempt to win the ball from Nets. He sprinted across the whole width of the pitch on the break, where Forest and Nico Williams had given away a poor cross, almost set Leeds on a counter-attack. So thankfully for them, able to slow the play down, get themselves back into a shape and allow Leeds to have possession.
The comeback's on at Watford. Watford 1, Peterborough 5. Lincoln 4-1 up at Blackpool with Callum Elder scoring the latest goal there. And Victor Torp has put a penalty away for Coventry, who were 2 up very early at Plymouth. And then pegged back to 2-2, but they now lead by 4 goals to 2. We've got 19 minutes of the second half gone here. Forest 0, Leeds United 1. Dan James with the goal, 5 minutes into the second period. Haramovic Back to his goalkeeper, James Trafford. Trafford waiting on the edge of the D. Worked it into the feet of Ampadu. We'll get it out towards James on the right-hand side. Up against Luca Nets now. One back by Murillo. Down to the Forest left. Roar of appreciation urging Callum Hudson-Odoi on as he takes it inside the area. Nets making a run to his left. Hudson-Odoi trying to work the ball out to Williams on the right, but Tanaka saw it coming and heads it away. Forest clip it forward and then give a free kick away. Schlager, the guilty man in the heart of the midfield. And it's a free kick to Leeds just to take the sting out of this latest Forest attack, but they're making a half-decent fist of getting back into it now.
Yeah, they've certainly put the pressure on Leeds now. I think we're about to see a couple more changes for Leeds. Harry Wilson below us and Aronson, I think, looking like they might come on, but that's the response from Daniel Farke. But the thing with Callum Hudson-Odoi, he picks up brilliant positions, and Forest are now creating chances because he's playing a bit wider and stretching Leeds into positions they don't want to be in. But he just gives the ball away a little bit too easily. No real conviction. He's not took a shot on. He's just tried to flick one wide and gives the ball away for his side.
James. A foul by Hudson-Odoi. That's a free kick to Leeds. So much has been made over the week, 10 days leading up to the season about the fact that there is going to be a higher by Longstaff with this latest free kick, which wasn't great. Too flat, headed away, back in with a looping Ampadu header, and again cleared. Forest trying to get it forward. And now a free kick is inevitable, and that'll be a yellow card for Longstaff. It was Darren Doy that was brought down. Longstaff looks at his looks at his manager, with arms out, and his body language is absolutely mirrored by Daniel Farke. Neither of them can remotely understand why that has been given.
Well, I thought at the time it looked like Darren Doy, looked like he got to the ball first. Yes, Longstaff dived in, but for my liking, I don't think there's any contact on Ndoye. And I think that's why Longstaff is so frustrated with the decision. He's now got himself a yellow card, whereas Ndoye's almost bought that foul, left his left leg in, just outside the technical area of the Leeds bench.
And that is Longstaff's last contribution of the night. He's off. Okafor also coming off. And so too Tanaka. So triple change for Leeds. Coming on, Harry Wilson, Brendan Aronson, and Anton Stach, who scored the winning goal here at the weekend from that very late free kick. So Stach, Wilson and Aronson for Longstaff, Okafor and Tanaka. Midway through the second half on TalkSport 2. Luke Chambers alongside me, Jim Proudfoot, here at the City Ground. Excellent cup time. Hudson-Odoi. Forest look for the equaliser. Right-footed ball towards the penalty spot, and that's headed away. Milenkovic climbing over the top of Mecha. Aronson bringing it forward for Leeds with pace. He hit it forward. It hit the back of Milenkovic, but still breaks Mecha's way. He's inside the penalty area. Back it goes for Brendan Aronson, the USA international, pulling it back for Ampadu. Right-footed shot. Oh, just wide. Well, Stack scored one from distance at that end of the ground on Saturday. That would have been 5 times as good. He's hit it from 35 yards. Sells had no chance. And he's gone just past the post.
Oh, he sets himself brilliantly. And from where we are, it looks like it just whistles past that near post. He drives it with his instep of his right boot. But it is a little bit further wide on reflection of the replay than it looked. But what a strike from him.
That's Southampton 1, West Ham 4. So much made about that West Ham team selection. And Jared Bowen, off the bench tonight, has scored the 4th goal. And they lead down to St Mary's 4-1. Southampton will be going through. The draw made tomorrow. You'll hear it on TalkSport ahead of the 2 live games that we've got. Well, part of it's ahead of the 2 live games that we've got. We'll know the 8 European teams, whether they are at home or away. And then we'll find out after the games who's going to be playing who. We've got the draw for you. The games tomorrow that we're bringing you: Spurs against Charlton over on TalkSport, Newcastle West Brom here on 2, and they both kick off at 7:45. All reaction to tonight continues on the Sports Bar after us, and then tomorrow morning Alan Brazil and Ali McCoist will be speaking to, amongst others, Manchester United and England legend Brian Robson. Well, that's Sport Breakfast tomorrow morning from 6. Dan and Doyle bringing it forward here for Forest. Gets the ball out towards Williams, who's over on the right-hand side now that Iron has gone off. Forest turning again in possession with Ndoye. Riding a challenge, trying to get past Aronson as well. Flicks it out towards Williams. Williams can get it inside the penalty area. Nets heads it down. Falls for Schlager. Left-footed ball clicked in from him. Elvedi can easily knock it away. It'll bounce a couple of times in the centre circle, but with 20 minutes to go, Forest probably enjoying more dominance now than at any previous stage of the game. They'll bring it forward again here. James sticking out the right foot. Just steered it out of the path of Hudson-Odoi. He's claiming he didn't get a touch. It has gone out of play for a Forest throw. Leeds will make a change in the meantime, and Jaden Bogle will come on to replace Dan James. That's a straight swap on the right-hand side, but a more defensive player at right wing-back.
Yeah, and that's a good reaction from Daniel Farker, because since Callum Hudson-Odoi's come on, Dan James has almost played as an orthodox right-back, which is what we've been saying for the whole 60 minutes, really. So he's obviously decided now to bring Jaden Bogle on, who is an out-and-out right-back. He'll certainly try and limit Callum Hudson-Odoi's chances in these last 20 minutes.
Bogle, who's not scored that many goals for Leeds, but he did score in his last League Cup tie, which was their elimination against Sheffield Wednesday last season. Hudson-Odoi trying to link up with Nets, but two of them were at cross purposes. He's missed him from close range, and it goes out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Leeds United right here with Joe Roden.
Just a little bit sloppy again from Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's getting in brilliant positions and just really trying to make his side tick with that intent, but it's just that bit of quality that he's lacking at the moment. He's lost the ball multiple times, whether it's trying to cross it or pick someone out, not just putting the ball in the right area, and just needs to sharpen up a little bit in these last 20 minutes if Forest are going to get themselves back into this one.
Brentford leading 4-1 at Birmingham now. Mikael Damsgaard has scored that, and Ramel Donovan, who's left Brentford this summer and gone on loan to Sheffield United, has just put the Blades ahead at Blackburn. Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 2. Middlesbrough through. They won 3-1 at Doncaster. Norwich won 2-1 at Cardiff. Elsewhere, these sides ahead going into the closing stages. Barnsley, Sheffield United, Lincoln and Millwall, Fleetwood and Ipswich, Coventry and Wolves, West Ham, Reading, Peterborough, Brentford and Leeds, all leading their respective ties at the moment. Leeds United with another free kick here. There was a poor challenge over on the far touchline, and Andy Kitchen will produce another yellow card. This time Jacques Cunha is the man that goes in the book, and he can't have any complaints either.
Yeah, the ball's never there for him to win. Ampadu drives across just outside the corner of the penalty area and jumps and tries to flick the ball away from Cunha. He's at least a second late. Ampadu knows exactly what he's doing, takes the contact, but just a little bit frenetic from Forest now. They just need a couple of deep breaths, but now they've got a real difficult set piece to defend alongside the sort of 18-yard box.
Those are the thoughts of Luke Chambers, former Forest captain. His side trailing here to a Dan James goal. Leeds United looking to double their advantage with this free kick from a very wide position. Right-footed, swung into the edge of the 6-yard box, headed down. Opportunity on the turn for Ampadu. It surely took a deflection. The referee has indeed given a corner Leeds way.
Yeah, and we've been talking about the delivery from set pieces, and Anton Stack, credit to him, he scored the goal at the weekend brilliantly. The quality he's delivered that ball, just hung it up towards the near post, but no one could really get the ball away because it didn't have any pace on it. It just drops down. Ampadu looks like he's going to smash it into the top corner, but Schlager gets a toe on it.
In comes this latest Stack corner. A good one as well, flicked on at the near post. Forest with the man at the far post. It was Nets, and he can head it away. Goes out for a throw. A reminder that Celtic still ahead, but only just. 4-0 up on aggregate earlier tonight. 4-3 up on aggregate now with 20 minutes to go in their match in Austria. Brentford 5-1 up at Birmingham at St Andrews. It's been an awkward start of the season for Chris Davis's Blues. Great start for Keith Andrews and Brentford. Long throw from Ampadu was barely out of his hands before the whistle blew. I think the referee said that he did blow the whistle before the delivery. Not happy with the pushing and shoving going on inside the 6-yard box. Something else that officials are trying to eradicate at the moment.
Yeah, Murillo almost getting rode on round the neck with his left hand right in front of Matt Sells, so something he won't be allowed to do.
Well, apart from that, nothing wrong with it. Ampadu's long throw in towards the near post was And much more of a throw than a long one. It's helped on again, flicked on towards the far post, and they bundled it in. Yes, they have. Leeds United take the celebrations away to our right. The travelling supporters jubilant as they double their lead. 2-0 the score. Ball inside the penalty area, real scramble in there. Has been forced over the line. I think it's James Justin that is taking the acclaim of his teammates. Nico Williams down on his knees at the foot of the post. But the goal stands. Leeds United with 15 minutes to go. Lead by 2-0. Ball through the penalty area. Justin going up for it. Then helped towards the line. Williams was back there on the line. He got a fight to it to just keep it out. Couldn't get any purchase on it. And Justin had the easiest job from 6 inches just to tap the ball in.
And that's what happens when you keep a set piece alive. Long throw in from Ampadu. Elvedi does brilliantly to get across his man at the near post. Flicks it on. It's then there for Muharrimovic to get it back across. And it's just dropping towards the back post. And Nico Williams does well to get his body in the way. It just pops up off his hip as he's laying on the floor. And it goes in off James Justin. I think Nemecha, as it travels towards the goal line, he's trying to claim it off his hip. So real disappointing defending from from Nottingham Forest.
Now with 15 minutes to go, it looks as though they could be heading out. The kickoff, the resumption delayed because of an injury for Williams. The last thing they need, not just the concession of a goal, but to lose a player to injury in the process. We're having another look at it here, Luke.
Yeah, it's just Elvedi who gets across. And then it's just a scramble. I think Matt Sells comes out, tries to pick it up. Mecha gets the ball quickest. I think it may be over the line as Nico Williams lays it across the goal line. Half his body's over the line. It then just drops to James Justin, who smashes it off Matt Sells' boot, and it just rises into the box. I think Nemecha tries to claim it, but they don't really care. It's 2-0 to Leeds, and Forest certainly need a reaction in this last 15 minutes.
Beaten 1-0 here by Leeds on Saturday, 2-0 down to the same opposition on Tuesday in the Cup. It's an inauspicious start to the season for Nottingham Forest. They've lost 3 of their last 4 ties at this stage of the competition. This will be a 6th successive League Cup defeat for them over the last few years, since winning a game against Blackburn in the 4th round back in 2022. It's going to be some comeback if they can mastermind it from here with 13 minutes to go.
Well, they're going to have to get something real special now to get themselves back in. It's because credit to Leeds United. They've approached the game brilliantly. Yes, Forest started brightly in that first 15 minutes, but it's been all Leeds really in terms of chances, in terms of quality when they're in those attacking areas. And again, the ball just comes. The goal comes from a long throw, a decent set piece previously to that Forest have to defend. It then gets cleared out. They get another set piece to throw in for the long throw from Ampadu. Forest can't deal with it. And when you have bodies in there and the delivery's right, it doesn't matter how good you are as a footballing side with your philosophies. If you can't defend those set pieces, you will concede goals.
Williams has had his treatment, and he's going to have to stay off the field for a minute or so before being allowed back on. He just got caught ever so slightly in the face by Mecha, saw one nevertheless. Bloodied nose for Birmingham as well. 6-1 down now at home to Brentford, with Nathan Collins scoring the latest. Murillo's given a free kick away from the kickoff and gets a yellow card as Mecha brings it forward. And this is a night that has just illustrated to Oliver Glasner exactly why so many managers have found it difficult here over the course of the last 12 months or so, and the exact size of the task that lies ahead for him.
Well, it's a big challenge because when things aren't going well at Forest, you'll certainly hear about it, and the fans certainly inside the City ground now, you can sense the little bit of frustration. Is that directed at the players? Is that directed at Oliver Glasner? But they're expecting some real positivity this season, and so far the team haven't provided that.
The goal, officially at the moment credited as a Nico Williams' own goal. He's come off the field, has been replaced by Hutchinson. Leeds take a free kick after that foul by Murillo. Not the best ball in. We'll work back in again to Longford, Muharrimovic. And he's done well. He's won it back from Dan and Doy when he had no right to do so down by the corner flag. He's a centre-half looking like a silky left winger. Stack picks it up now for Leeds. Reverse ball from him to Aronson. Aronson with really good quick feet, finding James Justin. And it goes out of play for a throw over on the Leeds United left. They've got a swagger about them now. The away fans certainly believing that the job is already done. 2-0 up with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, lovely bit of play on that far corner right in front of the Leeds fans. They're the ones that are on their feet. They're the ones that are absolutely having a party this evening. Probably didn't expect it to go quite so well at this stage, but another Ampadu long flow comes in for Forest to defend.
And towards the edge of the 6-yard box, Milenkovic was there. Comes out for Aronson, just on the edge of the penalty area. Played back to Staff. Down towards the edge of the centre circle. Leeds United with Jaden Bogle. Work it out to the left-hand side. The lively and industrious Aronson goes to ground and was caught. And it's a free kick right from Anton Stack territory. This is almost the exact same position from which he scored at the weekend.
Will be just question will he have another go? But the body language now, I mentioned it earlier from the Forest, looking now just out in the stand where we are, people making their way for the exit. It's not a good sign. We've got 10 minutes to go. Plenty of time left for Forest to get back into it, but credit to Leeds. They're handling the pressure. Like you say, they're playing with that swagger now, and it's a great place to be if you're an away player at the City Ground and it's going your way.
Great place to be if you're an away fan as well. They're bobbing up and down away to our right-hand side of the Bridgeford end, the John Robertson stand. Bouncing, in comes Stack. It's gone for the near post again. It was headed though by Milenkovic, who got it clear. Forrest looking to try and break quickly with Hutchinson, but he can't get his foot on the ball. Leeds winning it back easily with Harry Wilson. Wolves are through. They won 2-0 at Sheffield Wednesday. Reading have won 3-0 at Stevenage. West Ham 4-1 winners at Southampton. Coventry 4-2 winners at Plymouth. Forest, the only Premier League scout that are going to be taken tonight, seemingly. They do have time, but not an awful lot of it to be able to turn this around with 8.5 minutes to go as Trafford plays the ball out from the back for Leeds, and Stack has just been caught. Waiting for the ball to get there. Forest will play on, clip it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Big ball shout against Nico Elvedi. And the referee says no. Remember, no VAR. And the officials unmoved. And it's going to be a Forest throw, not a penalty.
Yeah, better break though from Forest on that far right-hand side. Amari Hutchinson gets himself in a good position, drives towards the corner of the box, steps inside, but he decides to just lay it down the line towards the byline for Dan Doy, who can't really pick anyone out because Leeds are setting their formation. Amari Hutchinson could have took it inside on his left foot, doing what he does brilliantly and tried to have a go on goal, but allowed Leeds just to see out the danger.
Millwall are through, having scored early at Cambridge. That was all they needed. Barnsley had beaten Crewe 3-2 in a topsy-turvy game at Oakwell. Leeds make their final change. Dom Calvert-Lewin is on. He's got a brilliant record in this competition. 12 in 17 career League Cup ties, including a hat-trick against West Ham back in his Everton days. He scored against Forest in February in a very important home win that we brought you on TalkSport for Leeds United. And it's an away win coming their way. A third victory against Forest in 2026 incoming. 7 minutes to go. The only time Leeds have ever won in a cup tie against Forest back in 1968, and it was the great Johnny Giles that got the winner. And nearly 60 years on, they're going to be going through again, seemingly. Still 7 minutes plus stoppage time to go. The Forest need 2 to take this to penalties. Forest next in action, Saturday lunchtime. They go to Liverpool, hoping to avoid a third straight defeat at the start of this season if they can't salvage this. Build-up starts at 11 ahead of a 12:30 kickoff, live and exclusive on TalkSport. Also on Saturday, Watford West Ham in the Championship, and Watford have got some turning around to do after tonight. Yellow card is shown here to one of the Nottingham Forest players, Nico Dominguez. And Leeds United are seeing this out pretty comfortably now, Luke Chambers.
Yeah, just that frustration creeping into the Forest game. Certainly yellows notching themselves up. Nico Dominguez with a real poor challenge on Harry Wilson just outside the dugout of Nottingham Forest and Oliver Glasner. As Glasner now gets himself off that dugout and stands at the front of his technical area, arms folded, his frustrations clear for everyone to see. And I think those frustrations are mimicking with his players on that pitch now.
Watford I mentioned they're playing West Ham live on TalkSport 2 on Saturday afternoon. Been beaten 5-1 at home by League One Peterborough tonight. That has now finished. A couple of games have gone to penalties. Stoke Hull and Walsall against Leyton Orient, and we'll keep you updated. Celtic with 5 minutes to go, still 3-1 down. That will be good enough for them. 4-3 down on aggregate, and 4-3 up on aggregate, I beg your pardon, in Austria, but hanging on to that aggregate lead. They're 3-1 down on the night in a match in which they did lead at one stage. 5 minutes to go. Your reaction over on TalkSport Sports Bar, open for business 10 o'clock tonight. A lot to react to as well. On 03717223344, you can book your calls right now. 5 minutes left here, and Leeds United are set fair for a place in the third round. Schlager goes up for it, loses out to Calvert-Lewin, but the ball is brought down by Murillo. Milenkovic goes back for his goalkeeper. Sells gets it away. A high ball forward. Roden heads that clear of Hudson-Odoi, and he goes out for a throw. Last domestic cup tie that Oliver Glasner had was that famous Palace loss at Macclesfield in the FA Cup last season, where as holders they went out to non-league opposition. I don't think this one will sting quite as much as that, but he will be mystified by elements of his side's performance, and he knows he's got a lot of work to do. Ampadu has gone in late there and caught next as he drives forward. Free kick for Forest. Have they pull one back now, it'll set up a grandstand finale.
Certainly will, and they need to get something out of this now. They've got 5 minutes left. The delivery has to be right. It's been poor for them all night long from set pieces, whether that's from deep, whether that's from corners. Nico Dominguez is standing over this one with Schlager just about 35 yards from goal. So they just need to try and get a reaction now, because otherwise the game's just going to drift away.
Ipswich scored again at home to Leicester, 3-1. Marcelino Nunez with his second in stoppage time. That is finished at Portman Road. Ipswich are through. Schlager leaves it for Dominguez, right-footed, clipped in far too close to the goalkeeper. It's so easy for Trafford. Just had to take a couple of steps back, hands above his head. That's just catching practice for him.
Well, you've got to be furious as a manager, and this is just from both sides. You've seen that Leeds have delivered some decent deliveries in this last half an hour of the game, which now puts them 2-0 up. Forest haven't delivered one good set piece, any quality from anywhere on the pitch, and that's something that's it's such an easy chance to put pressure on Leeds, and they're just letting them off the hook.
Nottingham Forest, if you're just joining us, have announced, or it has been announced, not yet by Forest, that Liam Delap is coming here. It's a £45 million signing that should be completed tomorrow. The former Ipswich man, now at Chelsea, soon to be a Nottingham Forest player. Forest will be delighted to be signing the son of the former Derby man. Here's Milenkovic. Down towards Murillo. Good player though, Liam Delap, if he can reproduce his Ipswich Town form here, and he will be a great addition. Really good young player who's just had a difficult year that I've no doubt he's going to be able to play his way out of. That should be announced tomorrow. Forest still, even when they've made that signing, will still have had a £40 million transfer surplus over the summer so far. So plenty of scope for more players to come in. Tonight suggests that they might need a few. Here's Milenkovic going back to his goalkeeper, and Sells will pick it up. It's 2-0 Leeds.
Yeah, I think we've just seen the little bit of strength in depth that Leeds have been able to pull together, probably over and above what Forest have available to them, and whether those extra signings will come in. But back to the Liam Delap story, and when it is confirmed by Forest, still a strong amount of money, isn't it, for someone that's had a relatively ordinary season at Chelsea, £45 million. But they're probably in that place now where I wouldn't say it's desperation, that would be disrespectful. I think it's just they have to try and get things over the line as quick as possible to give Oliver Glasner the best chance to keep the positive feeling that he was able to muster over the summer.
Just seen a still produced which shows for the second Leeds United goal that the Williams touch did prevent the ball initially going in. It was then slammed quickly by James Justin. It hit Mecha on its way over the line, hit him on the chest, but I think the goal is now credited to Justin. The upshot of it all, though, is second goal for Leeds that has knocked the wind out of the Nottingham Forest sails.
I think the question would have been almost if it did hit Nmecha before it crossed the line, he potentially was in an offside position. So luckily for Leeds, it was over the line as it's just caught his sort of hip area, and James Justin wields away, and they won't care who scored the second goal ultimately. They've won the tie and they've won it really, really comfortably in this second half.
Justin taking the throw. And the ball comes down through the midfield for Anton Stack. Forest have won it back. Just about to go into stoppage time here at the City Ground. Forest need a pretty large number to be shown. 2-0 down. Here's Amari Hutchinson, who wasn't involved in the first team squad at all at the weekend. But recalled tonight. He's got it now as we go into 6 additional minutes. So maybe just a lifeline here for Nottingham Forest. Hutchinson clipping the ball in here and sliding in at the far post, and boy, had he got a touch on that, might have been able to divert it home, but he couldn't, and it's gone out of play and wide for a goal kick, and we have a pitch invader who didn't make a particularly good job of it. He was on the pitch for about 10 seconds or so. Stewards did their job very ably and curtailed his progress, and he won't be watching the rest of the game from in here. 5 minutes to go, 2-0 to Leeds.
Yeah, just a little bit of a bright spark there from, you mentioned Amari Hutchinson. Will he get that opportunity to impress his manager? But he drove across the pitch well, picked up the ball on the inside left channel, cut back onto his right foot and just flipped the ball in towards the back post, and it was flicked on, and Dan Ndoye just half a yard away from just getting his toe on it to cause Leeds some concern to make it 2-1, but they survived that one and they've got the ball now comfortably again in Forest half.
Celtic have conceded another 3 minutes of stoppage time being played in Austria, and they've let in the 4th goal tonight in the first of those 3 minutes. 4-1 on the night, 4-4 on aggregate. And with half an hour gone tonight, Celtic led that 1-0 on the night and 4-0 on aggregate. It's now 4-4 on aggregate, with goals from Jusor, Lubicic, Adeniran and Flecker. And that is heading for extra time. It's not at St Andrews, where Brentford have won 6-1 at Birmingham. The heart of the defence, Milenkovic, will play the ball back to the right-hand side for Sells. Sells is going to clear. Leeds fans singing of Wembley. 4 minutes to go. Quite a few of the Forest fans have filed out, sensing that the comeback isn't on. Remember, they go to Liverpool, live on TalkSport Saturday lunchtime. 11 o'clock the build-up ahead of a 12:30 start on Game Day Live. Clearance from our left-hand side from James Trafford. Booms forward towards halfway. Calvert-Lewin sprints to meet it. Milenkovic following him every step of the way. Hutchinson picking up the loose ball, tries to skewer one down the inside right channel. Leeds can win it back, and now we'll bring it forward with Aronson. Calvert-Lewin making a run to his left. He's flicked into Calvert-Lewin's path, but his right-footed shot is comfortably caught by Sells, just goes down on his knees on the edge of the 6-yard box. But that was excellent interplay between Aronson and Wilson before Calvert-Lewin shot.
Yeah, electric turn of pace from Aronson again. Gets away from two. Cunha and Hutchinson way too easy in the middle of Forest half. Plays the ball across the pitch to Harry Wilson, who does brilliantly to just lay a first-time pass across Murillo into the path of Calvert-Lewin, who tries to take the shot on early, about 25 yards from goal, where he could have probably taken a touch or two to take himself through on goal for Matt Sells, but shows you how quickly Leeds can turn things on if they need to. But at the moment, they're just seeing this game out really professionally. Daniel Farke will be really pleased with the team's performance.
Third round beckoning. This will extend Leeds' run to only 6 defeats in their last 32 games in League and Cup, which, when you consider the kind of form they were in going into that run, when they originally went from a back 4 back to a back 3 midway through last season, it has been a real transformation for them.
Absolutely, and tonight showed that. Elvedi coming in at centre-half has been absolutely magnificent. Muharamovic has been absolutely brilliant on that left side of the back 3, and listen, you know what you're going to get from Rodon, and he's had to move across to the right-hand side where he's been so used to playing in that middle, and they've marshalled absolutely everything that Forest have had to throw at them this evening.
So Forest will bring it forward. very much just in consolation territory now. 2-0 down with 90 seconds to go in stoppage time. Amari Hutchinson square to his left-hand side for Zava Schlager. Schlager to his left for Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi showing for a return ball from Murillo. A poke back by Bogle. Trafford wasn't anticipating that. He got it away, stopped it going out for a corner, but it's then flicked off Wilson and gone out for a Forest throw. Minute to go. Just a few seconds more than that. And Milenkovic will siphon the ball through the centre circle. Out to Jai Cunha. Hutchinson now. Under pressure from Aronson. Effervescent character, the United States international. Murillo back for his goalkeeper. Hull have beaten Stoke in the first of the night's penalty shootouts. 5-4 on penalties there after a 1-1 draw. Still going between Walsall and Leyton Orient at the Bescott Stadium. That penalty shootout, which is also 1-1 after 0-0, should I say, after 90 minutes. Celtic about to go into extra time. 4-1 down. They're still playing in stoppage time in Austria. To our right-hand side, Matt Sells clears. Goes over the halfway line. It's easily headed back by Leeds United. Good solid start of the season for them with back-to-back away wins in League and Cup here at the City Ground. Very little between the two sides last season in the league, just 3 points. Maybe a little bit more this time around. We'll wait and see. Very dangerous drawing conclusions from anything that happens in the first week of the season, particularly with the transfer window still open. Ball goes out, throw to Forest. Might not be time to take it. It has just been worked back to Milenkovic. His could be the last touch of the night. Play forward towards Schlager. Schlager, attempt to turn in the midfield, and the referee says that will do. Nottingham Forest beaten in the League Cup again. And a few isolated boos from the home faithful here on Trent side at the conclusion of this game. It's the 6th successive League Cup match that Nottingham Forest have lost. Leeds ending their own personal drought in this competition, eliminated in each of the last 3 seasons by Salford, Middlesbrough and Sheffield Wednesday, but through with a little bit of style tonight, beating Nottingham Forest, Luke, by 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. For all the huff and puff that Forest gave, Leeds controlled the majority of the game. Yes, they had a bright start, Nottingham Forest, but the way Leeds United were able to take the game away from them whenever they really decided to. Some real impressive performance, especially up top for Nemecha across the game, and Okafor. Tanaka brings so much energy to Leeds midfield, but credit's got to go for me to Dan James, who notched the first, caused Nottingham Forest so many problems throughout the evening, and the way he drove them back, playing from almost a right wing-back role, he was just absolutely magnificent.
Will the boost fair from the Nottingham Forest supporters, bearing in mind that there is still a lot of work to be done in the transfer market? Delap's arriving tomorrow. I mentioned in the latter stages of the commentary that they still will have brought in £40 million more than they've spent so far, so there will be fresh bodies in. With the boost fair?
I think they probably are fair. I think it's not been the performance and the bright start that the Forest fans would have liked. But I think they've got to look at Leeds United as a team that they've got to compete with this season in the Premier League and in obviously cup competitions. But the Premier League for them, they're going to have to beat teams like Leeds United if they're going to achieve what they want to achieve with the signings and the investment that they're making again. But listen, there's been problems. We know that, especially in the last 12 months from what Nuno Santo left. When he left the club and everyone was up in arms about it, there's been turmoil and turnaround. So Oliver Glasner needs a little bit of time. So those boos are not going to help the feeling around the City Ground, especially when you're having to go to Liverpool.
Luke, thanks very much for your time tonight. Much appreciated. Great insight. Let me give you all of tonight's full-time scores in the League Cup. Cardiff 1, Norwich 2, Doncaster 1, Middlesbrough 3, Barnsley 3, Crewe 2, Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 2, Blackpool 1, Lincoln 4, Cambridge 0, Millwall 1, Fleetwood 4, Shrewsbury 0, Ipswich 3, Leicester 1, Plymouth 2, Coventry 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Wolves 2, Southampton 1, West Ham 4, Stevenage 0, Reading 3, Stoke against Hull finished 1-1. Hull won 5-4 on penalties. Walsall against Leyton Orient finished 0-0. Orient won 6-5 on penalties. Watford 1, Peterborough 5. Birmingham 1, Brentford 6. And Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 2. In the EFL Trophy, Blackpool against Villa's youngsters postponed. Bristol Rovers 2, Chelsea's youngsters 2. Chelsea won the penalty shootout. And in the Champions League, they go to extra time between Lask and Celtic. Celtic, who scored first, lost 4-1, 4-4. The aggregate score, extra time to follow. You can hear what happens to that and react to it as well. The Sports Bar from 10 o'clock over on TalkSport. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy taking your calls. The number to dial 03717 223344. Here at the City Ground, it was Leeds United's day. Little bit of deja vu. Got the job done on Saturday. They've done it with more style and aplomb tonight. Finishing Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds 2. Good night.
TalkSport 2 with official betting partner William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Switching to Vodafone full fibre broadband is now as easy as pie. Oh, freshly baked. It's a walk in the park. Hello, little fella. It's like taking candy from a baby. Come on, as if I'd do that. With One Touch Switch, it's easy. We sort everything out for you. We even contact your current provider. Plus, we'll help towards leaving fees. Switch today to full fibre broadband with Vodafone.
Up to £200 credit to cover leaving fees. More information and terms at vodafone.co.uk/broadband.
Surrounded by alien foes, the fate of the galaxy depends on us.
Fancy a Mackies? There are daily offers waiting in the McDonald's app.
But the universe...
The main mission can wait. Unlock daily offers in the McDonald's app now. 18 plus app only. Different offers available each weekday and on weekends until the 27th of September. Check out for details. Subject to availability. Fees apply to delivery. One use per day.
Trade paint or branded. Spirit levels or laser levels. Basic timber or hardwood. When you're running a business, you're always weighing up costs versus compromise. But what if you didn't have to? Because right now, you can drive away selected electric Peugeot vans for the same monthly rental as a diesel one. Electric or diesel for the same monthly rental. Who says everything has to be a compromise? The Peugeot Professional LCV range. Unexpected, made easy. Business contract hire. Business users 18 plus only. At participating retailers only. T's and C's apply.
On August 29th, witness history. Moses Italma fights to become Britain's youngest heavyweight world champion ever. Moses versus Hergovich. Live exclusively on DAZN Saturday Fight Night.
From the first time they lose a baby tooth. Look, Mum. To the countless times they forget to mention their ingredients for food tech tomorrow. To the last time you hear that school was...
Yeah, all right.
Kids grow up fast. Luckily at Tesco, we have back-to-school uniform that grows with them, including everything they need like trousers and skirts with adjustable hems and waists. So you can focus less on the cost and more on all this. Tesco, every little helps. Available in the majority of larger stores and online.
On DAB+, online, via the TalkSport app, and on your smart speaker.
This is Fight Night Extra on TalkSport 2.
If you love your boxing, this is the show for you. Fight Night Extra with myself, Adi Oladipo, the great Gareth A. Davis. A huge, huge fight this weekend. Moses Italma fights for a world title against Filip Hrgović. It'll be live on TalkSport. If he wins, he will become the second youngest ever heavyweight world champion behind the great Mike Tyson and in front of the great Floyd Patterson. Just how much of a step up in class will the Croatian be for Moses? We'll discuss it. At the other end of the heavyweight division, it's been another week of back and forth regarding AJ and Fury without an official announcement. Gareth A. Davis is going to bring us up to speed on that. And we're going to unpack the weekend's action. Teofimo Lopez beating his good friend Rolly Romero to become a free weight world champion. All right, busy show as always. This is Fight Night Extra on TalkSport 2.
And you lose, and you come back, you never lost, because you're a winner. I'm a winner. And I'm a true example of what winning is. It ain't about losing, it's about never giving up.
And I think that we get not just a new British heavyweight star, but a new global world star in Moses Italma.
Really great talent, but I think I'm the biggest test for him.
me in the ring, he'll feel something that he never felt before.
I see people like Gareth A. Davis go, Eddie, stop holding things up and just sign the contract. He's never even spoken to me. We don't want another. We just fought Prenger. Joshua went down 2 times. Do you think we want another fight? We don't need another fight. We need what we signed for.
Gareth A. Davis, let's jump straight into it. Busy show. As I said, I do want to get to Moses. I do want the latest with AJ Fury. Eddie Hearn not happy with you, Gareth. Eddie Hearn not happy with you. It's almost like 6 or 7 times a year. This is probably the 4th time this year. But I do want to get straight to Teofimo Lopez. Beating Rolly Romero to become a 3 division champion. I almost feel like Teo doesn't get the respect he deserves. There are some losses on the resume. There are some big wins. And he's now a 3 division champion, which isn't to be sniffed at. That's an achievement.
Yeah, definitely. Look, there's no doubt that he is one of the elite fighters of this era. And I think, when you look at the wins over Vasyl Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, when I think he was at his finest that night, on both those occasions, and yet when you look at how he was bested comprehensively against, say, the likes of Shaka Stevenson, maybe he doesn't get his flowers all the time because he's in with guys in this era who have greater boxing skills than him, and he has peaks and troughs that are very acute. I think longevity may show how good he is, but he's still got some great matchups out there that he can have and prove himself in this era.
Yeah, I think that's the benefit of him being at 147 now. Even at 140 prior, but 147 allows him to kind of fill his boots a little bit. Again, there probably will be some losses. There will be some big wins. Devin Haney's around. The winner of Ryan versus Connor is a great fight for him. Jack Cattrall and him have gone back and forth. Jack Cattrall believes that he's in line for it. So there are a couple of names where all of a sudden he can put some wins together where you forget about the Shakur Stevenson performance. Because I still have that for some reason over him. Because that was a besting. I mean, Shakur beat him hands down, and that was 2 very good fighters going at each other, and one showing that he's great and one showing that he's very good.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with Teo, I'll say this of a few fighters, he could grow bigger by coming to the UK to fight a Conor Benn as well. He's a box office fighter. There's no question about that. He is box office. And because he's got that zany personality, because he's very watchable, because he's very charismatic, and he can deliver in the ring. A Jack Cattrall fight in the UK, up north, up in Manchester, a Conor Benn fight in a stadium in London, or a big venue in London, O2 Arena in London. For me, those really sell, and I think he should be looking a little bit further outward. And I think Zuffa will make the most of him, and I really do think they'll get behind him and light him up, because he's got special qualities. Whether he beats Devin Haney, I'm not sure. I don't think he'll fight Shaka Stevenson again. In fact, I don't think he does beat Devin Haney, but I'd like to see him in against Ryan Garcia, Conor Benn, Jack Cattrall, Devin Haney et al.
Rank them for me. So the champions in the division at the moment are Liam Parrow, who's got the IBF. As you mentioned, Devin Haney's got the WBC. Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia's got the WBC, apologies. Devin Haney's the champion. And now Teofimo Lopez is the champion. Those are the 4 champions in the division. Rank them.
Well, as soon as Shakur comes up, he beats all of them anyway. Rank them. Parrow 4. Teo 3. Oh. Well, we need to see the rematch to rank Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, don't we? Which, it's an enormous fight. I think Ryan... Instinctively, I think Devin Haney wins the second matchup. But am I wrong to pick Devin Haney after Garcia absolutely owned him last time, but with all the things that were around? And obviously, do we count the result, or is it expunged?
I mean, well, the record book says expunged, but it's difficult to remove it from our brains. We saw one man take a bit of a beating. As you say, though, there are so many asterisks around that win. I would do kind of what you've done. I'd say Liam Parrow for Teo 3, and then it's tough between those two, but I probably would edge to Ryan over Devin. I think Ryan looks really good against Barrios. So I would edge towards them. Have you any swing, any change of mind in the Ben Garcia fight? I think the last time we spoke, you kind of were leaning very heavily towards Ryan Garcia. Connor's put out so much footage of him looking good, getting down to the weight. Has that changed your mind at all?
No, not really. The only caveat for me is the, again, rather like Tio Lopez, if the wild and wacky Ryan Garcia turns up a couple of weeks before the fight and we start seeing strange things. But I think Connor's made him very focused, because Connor gives him more wind in his face than any other fighter he's ever faced, maybe apart from Javante Davis. But no, I think technically and in terms of power and in terms of what Connor's had to go through to get to 10 stone 7, 147 pounds, I still favour Ryan Garcia. But there's a lot of people in the boxing world who really like the look of Conor Benn, people that I would have thought would have chosen Ryan with alacrity to beat him. So no, I see a great fight. I see Conor bringing everything, but I see Ryan getting to him.
Yeah, that fight September 12th, big one, really big one for Conor, really big one for Ryan. I want to bring it closer to home. There was a fight at the Copper Box on Saturday, a fight card at the Copper Box on Saturday. George Liddard beat Dario Morello comfortably to become European champion. He's now done the full sweep, right? British, Commonwealth, European. The next step is sort of fringe world level to see where he really is. I like the look of George Liddard. I like the confidence. He's almost turned into this persona, which I don't mind if you can deliver in the ring. He's dyed his hair blonde. He's wearing blazers with no shirt underneath, something you would do. But he seems to be coming out of his shell. And he's unbeaten. He's done the clean sweep. Do you like the look of George Liddard? He's moving through quite comfortably.
I do. He's growing. His image is growing. His resonance is growing. I was just about to say he's done Blondie. He's done the Blondie like Conor Benn did. There must be something in the waters there in the Tony Sims gym for them to want to do that. Or it's maybe just an Essex thing. But I do like George. I like the energy that comes off him. I like his confidence. I like the fact that Jimmy Sainz is just behind him as well and winning as well. Maybe controversially, Jimmy, on Saturday night in some people's minds. But I thought George carried himself well all week. It was in his favour that moved from York Hall because of waterworks issues to the Copper Box. And I think all of that works for him. Eddie's putting a lot of bluster behind him as well. And when Eddie Hearn, the promoter, gets behind you, he really brings you a resonance. I mean, we had Odell Kamara in the studio on Saturday night, another one of Eddie's rising stars who's about to turn pro, the Liverpudlian. And I think George has benefited from Eddie's platform. And I think he did a great job on Saturday night. And he's a terror in the ring as well. And I like him at middleweight. He's now European champion, and he's pushing for the likes of people like Denzel Bentley, which he rightly did on Saturday night.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, because I've had a bit of a pushback, because I mentioned Bentley after the fight. And I only mentioned it because, well, it's two Brits. I mean, and if you're George Liddard and you've done, European, the next step is a world title, at least, in and around that. So I think Denzel Bentley makes sense. I can understand why Bentley wouldn't want to do it. Certainly not out of fear, but if you're Bentley, you want unifications. You want Aaron McKenna, Erislande Lara, Carlos Adames. But if you're Liddard, you should be looking at Bentley. You should be thinking, okay, I wouldn't mind that scrap.
Yeah, on the sliding scale of where I am on the escalator, he's doing the right thing. One guy's looking up, the other guy's looking up. The other guy, Bentley, doesn't want to look down at the moment and George is probably a decent challenge for him. And things haven't always gone right for Denzel Bentley, Look at the Nathan Heaney fight. Suddenly elevated him. We were talking about Nathan Heaney having a world title fight. But, there's a lot of people out there for George Liddard to mix and match against. I don't think it will be Denzel Bentley now, but next. The relationships are there with the promoters, of course. If we were doing a 5v5 now, Queensbury and Matchroom, it would be a perfect fight to have on that card and build. But I think Denzel Bentley has got bigger fish to fry right now, and he's at a lot of events now. He's growing as well as a personality and a person around the ring and around our fight world. So George might have to bide his time a little bit for a world title. Sure.
Yeah, I like potentially an Ammo Williams fight, who has proven that maybe just falls short of that world elite level. Obviously, he's had the Hamza Shiraz fight, lost that. Carlos Adama's fight, lost that. So we know that Ammo's not a world champion type level. And I almost feel like for George, that could be a tough test. But Ammo's almost become a gatekeeper. For anyone that wants to become a world champion, you have to get through Ammo Williams. Someone mentioned Felix Cash, maybe, who still looks like he could be dangerous. Obviously, Eddie used to look after him, used to be in Tony Sims's gym. So they maybe might have sparred a few times before. So there are opponents out there for him. Just now, Eddie's got to go with him as well. And we'll see what he can do in the back end of the year. Amanda Serrano, me and you spoke about TikTok last week. Amanda Serrano had her fight on TikTok. It drew 3.4 million viewers, which is an incredible number, by the way. Concurrent viewers as well. But she struggled, Amanda. Look, it is her 50th pro win, and that needs to be applauded. That's an incredible number. But she took a lot of damage. And I think it's the first time she's kind of hinted about maybe that's that. I hope it is, because I feel like she's given us so much. It's a shame that she didn't get, from an Amanda Serrano point of view, one win over Katie Taylor. She maybe deserves one, if I'm honest with you. But I do hope that Amanda Serrano considers sort of hanging up the gloves and goes to work for MVP in a different guise, because I think she has so much to offer the sport.
Well, a couple of things here. I've been across the TikTok milieu, if you like, genre, for several weeks, several events, because BKB, Bare Knuckle, have their prelims on TikTok and have done for a while now, really the first to do it. And I know that we did 6 million, 7 million the first time, and that was just the prelims. And now we're having a co-main and main TikTok fights. It's such a big platform, and it didn't surprise me at all that they got in the millions, because she's very popular. TikTok is one of those places where they're looking for action. I remember asking you last week, I think you've got a TikTok account, haven't you?
I have.
Which always tickles me that you have a TikTok account. I think it's going to be a really big platform going forward. MVP have adapted and adopted onto it as well to get that out of the way. But genuinely, BKB were on it first of all, pushing their resume and their fights on it. So every prelim card is now on there. I think MVP and Jake Paul and Nikisa Bidarian are very smart to be doing that, because they've got the best women's roster in the world. They've got a growing roster of mixed martial arts as well. So I think, A, that's a great platform, and they're very smart in what they're doing. B, Lucrecia Manzur gave Amanda a really hard time, and I think the signs of age are there. I think if she's not 40, she's 40 very soon. And she's been a great servant to the sport. Yeah. She's a great speaker, a great orator on the sport, and I fully agree with you. I think I'd love to see her become a figurehead for the promotion of women's boxing. She's got all the qualities required.
Yeah, look, whatever she does in the future, we wish her the best of luck. But she's been incredible, honestly incredible for the sport. When you think of her, Katie and Clarissa, and what they've done in terms of growing the sport, it's been sensational. Hopefully she's at Croke Park watching Katie Taylor's finals, but I'd love to see her get in the ring and just her and Katie will embrace and say goodbye at the same time. It would be incredible. All right, you're listening to Find That Extra on TalkSport 2. And next up, we're going to sink our teeth into this weekend's world title fight at the O2 as Moses Italma bids to become the youngest British heavyweight world champion in history.
Online.
This is TalkSport 2. TalkSport 2 with official betting partner William Hill. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Legendary flavors from legendary Xbox games are now at McDonald's. Crispy golden garlic and black pepper McNuggets. Cheesy potato bites from Fallout 76 and Candy Crush McFlurry. The main mission can wait. Take a side mission to McDonald's. Available until the 29th of September from 11 a.m. while stocks last. Subject to availability. Participation varies.
Enjoy the freedom of unlimited data with Vodafone. Save £288 with an unlimited data SIM-only plan. Hurry, offer ends the 16th of September. Vodafone.
Was £35 on 24-month unlimited plan, 100